Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, as we are going to hold the L, ladies and gents. It was a rough ride yesterday, and he's back. But I'm not facing him alone. Let's get into it. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. I know one person that is. And after bantering him on, I can't remember what day it was now, mate, Friday.
He feels like a lifetime ago for you, doesn't it? Feels like 2 seconds ago for me. Pal, you're so shit, it's unbelievable. Carry on.
At least let me get the intros in before you start gloating, mate. Seriously. And I don't like the back of your screens or the front of the back of your screens either. What was I saying? All right, we spoke on Friday with this arrogant little prick.
It was you that was arrogant.
Oh, that was me. Sorry, that was me.
Forest and Barrows were just a shit Leicester. I've got it all saved up, mate. I just said we were going to win 3-0. That was it.
So, guys in the chat, please help me, man. Please help me. Look, all I can say is, right, we are man enough to come on and take the L like true Forest fans. So we decided, and you guys wanted it, and we brought him back to do a debrief on the game. I've also brought back up with Ant and Ez. It was meant to be the Grumpy Old Reds. However, they've turned on me. They're not going to back me up. So it's 3-on-1 here. Let's get some quick hellos in. Lee, how are you, mate?
I'm fine. And poor Simon F there, he's not liking me anymore. He liked me 48 hours ago. He's gone off. Have you not watched my video? Have you not seen how happy you made us all? Yeah, I'm fine. I've had I'm still beaming from ear to ear. It's a result we needed. To be honest, fans were, well, you probably saw by the amount of fans that were actually in the ground of Blackpool. There's been a little bit of a boycott on that game because they were charging 30 quid.
30 quid?
Yeah, 30 quid for tickets, and that didn't go down very well. Especially
wait, I thought that's how much a season ticket costs then.
Yeah, so it's not much more really. No, it's been very expensive at Blackpool, and they've put these prices up. And Blackpool, as you know, is one of the poorest, towns in the country, and it's affected the amount of people going in, and with all the background story of Appleton and the rest of it. We're not a happy bunch at Blackpool. And the trouble is with Blackpool fans is we're quite militant. We're militant. We got rid of the Oystons after 5. We dug in for 5 years, like World War II here.
Lee,
boycotting for 5 years. Yes, go on.
We have to pay more than £30 for every match, mate.
Yeah. Well, I know it's Premier League. You want to be there, pal. It's a big mistake, I tell you. Everything goes up. Everything goes up. It's all right, but it's a dear do, isn't it? Just be thankful you're not Arsenal fans paying about $2,000 a year for a season.
Mate, my son's an Arsenal fan. I have to pay that. It's not cheap.
It's ridiculous. How much is it now for an Arsenal season ticket? It's like you're
more than I earn, mate. More than I earn. Yeah.
More than you earn. It's just honestly, football's. Thank God they didn't do the Super League thing. Let's better not start on that. But
seriously, joking asidely, how much is a season ticket?
It was roughly 360. I think it works about £20 20 odd quid a game anyway. I can't remember now how much it was.
I wonder you only get 10 people through the gate.
Yeah, but they were charging like £30 for walk-ons and stuff, and I think 32 were for top games. And this is the problem, you see, when you're an owner, you start saying, right, okay, we're going to charge you for like category A, band A or whatever. But when you're losing at home, nobody wants to go, no matter what the bloody band is, does it? If you're like romping the league, everybody wants to be in, and you get that situation where, I'm not band A, so I can't get a ticket, blah, 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 blah. But when you're playing shit, nobody wants a bloody ticket, do they? So your band A thing goes down the drain, doesn't it? Because you can't sell them for love nor money. So you've got to be football first, Simon Sadler. If you're watching this, I'm sure he is. He watches all my stuff. So we had a game of pool with him in Swansea. Yeah, he's watching us. So Simon, not next time. When we smash Southampton, we're back at home. Cheap next time, thanks.
Well, how are you feeling about that draw, mate? Because that's a mission. I'm
it's
glad we're out.
But it suits the channel, doesn't it? Because we go away on a weekend so we can do the football tourist guide to Southampton. I've never been.
It'd take you a weekend to get there, man.
Yeah, well,
You're
we
not
did
missing
Bournemouth.
much.
We enjoyed that. You know, we went to Bournemouth last season, and we had a great time out. You know, we go out to pubs and take live bands, and it's honestly, it's great. You know, do a museum or do whatever. So yeah, we have a great time in Southampton.
Can I say, Lee? I watched your guide to Nottingham last night.
Yes. What do you think?
You should. Nottingham tourist board or whatever should employ you, mate. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was fun and informative, mate, and it was really good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've had a few. We went to Barnsley, and I'll tell you a quick little story. We went to Barnsley. Have you ever been to Barnsley? They've got like this indoor
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, so they've got this indoor market, and they've now turned it into like part of it into like a restaurant, tricky sort of all different snack bars. You can go around everything. It's just very nice. And we go in, and straight away, a big, bouncer comes up to me and says, what camera, mate? Can't have a camera in here. Don't be filming in here. He's giving me all this, out you get sort of thing. And I said, well, I'm a YouTube vlogger and everything. So I snuck round behind him and I started filming a few things like, secretly. And then all of a sudden I saw this like Gestapo marching towards us with this woman who looked very, very stern. I'm thinking, oh shit, we're going to get in trouble here. I shouldn't be filming. I'm going to be in trouble. And she goes, are you the YouTube vloggers? I said, yeah. Oh, she says, I'm from Barnsley Council. We've been told by some other YouTuber that you're coming to the thing today. Come on. She sat us down outside, had a big conversation with us about, everything they're doing in Barnsley. And she was like really up for it. And I thought, you know what? There probably is. We should get more into the tourist places because it is all about promoting, the idea of the
what's funny as well, Lee, is that you visited all those like tourist attractions that I've never been to. I've always wondered what they were like.
You're thinking, is that Nottingham?
That's true.
Firing bow and arrows or something. And next minute he's under the. Have we actually got caves under Nottingham? I bet you didn't even know, did you? No, it's weird. Did we go to Glory Holes and Homes? Where did we go there? Was that
What?
Oh, I don't think it's on the video. Yeah, we didn't put it on the video. There's a pitch and putt thing somewhere called. You know what I mean? It's vile, actually. To be
Glory holes.
Yeah, it is. It's all. Oh my god! It's all like.
It's not as we mean to go on.
It's horrendous. It's horrendous. We went to Peggy Skylight. Was that the one we went to Peggy Skylight? Was that Nottingham?
Yeah.
I don't know. You lost me after Glory Holes, mate.
I know it's in Nottingham. Have you never been? It's like one of these indoor pitch and putt things, but all the kids go to it. You've got rooms where everybody's been murdered, and you've got. I don't know,
Oh, you mean like panic rooms or escape rooms?
No, it's a indoor thing.
Okay.
So it's called, they are glory holes. It's an 18 course.
Keep saying
God's sake.
Keep saying it, Lee.
Get up to bed. Get into bed.
Glory
now.
holes.
Off to bed. This is after the 9 o'clock. Oh, are we after 9 o'clock?
But I've just come back.
I think Adam's in the chat. Is Adam in the chat? Adam, please ignore everything Lee's saying right now. He's only 15, bless him.
I was going to say, Lee, I've just come back.
Well, if you're old enough to know what a glory hole is, then you're old enough, aren't you?
The young kids now on Google. What's this?
I was going to say,
it always looks good fun to me.
Right, anyway, moving on. Southampton, mate. Southampton's not all that. It might be a very short show if you're doing one down there, mate. I've just come back from.
There's not a lot there. We'll find something. You'll be surprised at what you can find when you start to, when you start to look around. Jane's, very good at finding things for us to go to. I'll leave it all to her. It's her sort of baby. I just bring my camera and go, come along and just, follow her around really, like a lapdog whilst we go to pubs and, and. We have a lovely weekend. It's great. We kind of review the hotel and everything. So yeah, no, we really have a good fun. So.
Well, one thing we're gaining is an understanding of our viewership age. Sarah apparently is younger than 15. Adam's definitely 15.
It's all to do with
watching with you.
It's putting. It's a putting.
We're talking about
thing.
Golf. Yes, we're talking about
golf.
golf.
It's like crazy golf indoors.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
All right, shall we get into it? Shall we get into the pain? And guys,
before we do that, can I just have a quick? Watching your vlog yesterday, watching how excited Jane and the rest of your guys were about Bowler. I'm on the Bowler hype train now. I want him back.
Oh yeah,
that's what the hype's all about.
Oh, he's something else. You know, he really is something else.
I mean, I did think to myself, we've got players in that who've got a squad number who will never play a game. So surely, to goodness, it would have been better to have given Josh Bowler one of those squad numbers and get him on the bench at least, rather than some of the deadwood that we've got in there.
To be honest,
you can't have him back though. That's the problem.
Well, no, I know, but to be honestly, I think we all agreed.
Clubs, so
we all agreed that we would have rather had him in the squad than sending him out to Olympiacos. We didn't think that was going to end well. I think if we go back to our shows early on, we all said, well, what's the point in getting him if we're not going to give him a chance? We did think maybe they'd send him back to you, but not going over to Olympiacos has done him no favors whatsoever and kind of like restricted our ability to even bring him into our squad. So hope he does a good job for you guys, genuinely do. And I'm sure
just before you come back on Bowler there, mate. One second, Lee, just before you come back. As always, I got to big up Nottingham now and then with his generosity.
What a legend. Thank you.
It's £10. And guys and girls in the chat, if you're not following him already on Instagram, seeing that we're talking about, you know, history and tourism and stuff like that, go and check the historical picture. He put one, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the old city grounds, and would be the only one who remembers what that looked like. Because he sat in it. But thank you so much. And there's his Instagram in the chat. Please go and give him a follow on that. And
Lee, give him a follow. You'll enjoy it, mate.
Lee, you'd love that as well.
What's he called?
I didn't sit in the ground until they built the new trench. I had to.
Now and then, right? Okay.
Just have a look on the screen, and that's pretty much.
I'll check him out. Yeah, of course, it's
fantastic. And each picture has like the whole history.
It's really nice.
It's a historic city.
Yeah, we went to obviously, you know, the Robin Hood, you know, to the castle, and I tell you what, the parking in Nottingham. Jesus, man, I cry. We went to, I think we went to Nottingham Castle. Came out. We only did 3 hours, 15 quid or something. It was. It really had a heart attack.
I did notice that.
It is very, very expensive.
I don't know where you can get a lot cheaper than that. To be honest, mate. You definitely.
We didn't know where to go. We should have got some advice on blooming parking because it was honestly it was terrifying.
Well, guys in the chat, what's your favorite part of Nottingham to visit? If you were going to recommend something for a tourist,
city ground,
apart from the city ground,
apart from the world famous,
don't say Hooters. Where would you recommend someone went in Nottingham?
It's on George Street in Nottingham, by the way, for that guy that wants to know what it's all about.
He's on his way now.
What's on George Street?
The glory holes.
The G holes, mate. The G holes. Yeah, there comes my with Hooters. I knew someone
Hooters
would.
Is great. Yeah, I missed out.
Wellington Park from James. We got the trams, says Adam. I mean, if you're not going to get hit by them, use them, innit?
Blackpool.
Yeah, Jerusalem. We had lunch in the old Jerusalem pub. It's been there a long, long time.
Yeah.
And it was a nice lunch as well.
It's reasonable as well. The prices are reasonable in there, aren't they, for food?
Yeah, very reasonable. It was really nice.
It's like a historical building.
There was a big beer festival on at Trent Bridge when we went, so we couldn't get anywhere near there. It was like on that day there was like this huge beer event going on at Trent Bridge. But we passed it, and the Trent Bridge Hotel as well on the roundabout, isn't it? Is that right? Trent Bridge Hotel, I think it is. Yeah.
Some good. I mean, this always works. Some blokes drive away £6. Yeah, you can do that.
I park in the same place every match down the ground, and I don't pay. But I know somebody that does.
Just because you're a famous YouTuber, not everyone else gets the VIP valet parking, mate.
I'm not talking about the parking for the game. That was okay. It was the parking for doing the attractions, like the going in the town centre. It's dear. It's very dear.
Well,
it's very dear near the castle.
A lot of Nottingham has been pedestrianised as well, so obviously that removes a lot of what was parking spaces previously.
Yeah, it was expensive. It got a bit of
to avoid the game, aren't we?
Omni, we're avoiding it, but it's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. All right, let's jump back to the game.
We haven't even started talking about it. People are complaining we've not. How long you say we're here for? 3 hours. We got a lot of tight guys. We're going to talk about the game. Trust me.
We're not going to be here for 3 hours. We are not going to be here for 3 hours. We're going to give him 3 minutes. And we're going to kick him off.
Talk about the game.
All right, mate. Let's start about the game.
Well,
Come on,
thing I like
Unless
about
Anne wants to interrupt.
Yeah, the other thing the other thing I liked about Lee's vlog is, and I always enjoy this when you see opposing fans. It just makes me always realise how much alike fans from every club actually is. They're all passionate about their club. They all go in there full of hope, and sometimes we come away disappointed, sometimes we come away ecstatic, but we're all the same.
We show respect, don't we? I think Lee mentioned in the vlog that both yourself and Jane got approached by Forest fans for autographs and saying that they've seen you.
I actually signed a little autograph. He wasn't he a lovely little bloke? He was really nice. He didn't want to be on, but I forced him on. He had no chance. I just shove a camera in because I was going to film the scene and got somebody else to film me signing. But yeah, so put my squad number in there, obviously.
Yeah.
So was your squad number 7, or was that just the turnstile you wanted to go through?
Yeah, it should have been. I tell you, it's something about 7. We just chose lucky turnstile 7, and it worked well. And I think it was all down to that. Really, probably. It was all down to that, down to us going in lucky turnstile 7. You do tend to believe those things, though, don't you? Do you know what I mean? You actually do. Have you ever come home and said, "Oh, for God's sake, I didn't wear the right scarf today"? Well, I've worn the wrong
football fans.
Why did I wear that hat? Why did I change my hat? I've been wearing that other hat for 13 games. Now I change my hat, we lose. And it's all down to us, isn't it? It's all down to, I didn't park the car the right way round, or we didn't walk to the ground the way we're supposed to do. My dad used to have to touch a door on the corner of a shop when you come onto Bloomfield Road. We had to go and touch the door, the lucky door. And when we won at Wembley, not Cardiff, but way back when we beat Scunthorpe, we parked our car near my uncle's house, which was kind of quite a way away from us, but very near where the coach was going. And when we're coming back, my dad says, there's just one problem now. He said, we've got to park outside Uncle Ronnie's for a year. Do you know what I mean? We've got to park there and walk to the ground about 5 miles away because we've just won at Wembley. You know what I mean? So you got to keep the look going. So that's the bad news for you. You've got to park there every week. I thought, oh my God, no.
I've got to say, when it got to the playoffs, I remember I had to watch it on TV, and I couldn't even watch it at my house for certain reasons. So I went to my mate's house across the city from me, and obviously we beat them comfortably, 2-1 Sheffield United in the first leg. So then I had to recreate the whole scenario again for the second leg, exactly the same. I didn't wash the jeans that I'd worn. The top state, I just put them in the corner, left them alone with the socks, with the underwear, everything, ready for that next day. They didn't smell any better by the time I got back to them. Put them on, wore them.
We all do it.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Jane was taking a lucky aero last year. She had an aero, right? She had an aero bar, and she brought it with her to Sunderland, and we came back, and then it kept winning. And I swear to God, we get to the ground, and people would be up to us and say, "Has she got the aero? Has she bloody orange aero?" Honestly, they're coming up to us and saying, and she'd be in trouble. You know what I mean? It's all your fault. She didn't bring the lucky orange aero. It was so funny.
All right, let's get into the game. The game. So
Simon F's asking me a question there. Do I think we played well or you played badly? Well, we played well. I'm not gonna lie. We I think it's the bowler factor, to be honest. I just thought he's kind of.
He didn't even play. What are you talking about?
It's the fact he's the Messiah. Is he? You've no idea how much Jesus can actually affect, and he looks like he's got hair of Jesus. He is Jesus. Honestly, they don't know it yet, but the Jews, he's back. He's back. It's the moment. Jesus,
the ginger Jesus.
Oh my God,
he is Jesus. I'm telling you.
Wait, Lee, why haven't you called it the second coming then?
It is the second coming. It is the bloody second coming. Trust me. So you don't understand the effect that religion can have on things. And this guy is, you've no idea what you bought. Honestly, you're going for a bargain. 6 million. It should have been. It should have been 60.
Right. We don't have any idea what we bought.
Honestly, he's unbelievable. He's going to change this.
Can I Keith anymore? Wait, this is getting messy. Hold on, let me just ask this question because Keith raises a question I was just about to ask. Why was Jesus so shit in Greece?
Well, he hasn't got the same power out in Greece as he has at Bloomfield Road.
That's
it's
closer
not,
to the Middle East. That's where he's from, mate.
it doesn't
Close to
matter.
the
He's
signal,
better off
isn't it?
away from it. That's where they got rid of him last time. So he's happy out of the way of all that shenanigans. He's at Blackpool, but he's a really good player. And we love him. And the players were all happy to have him back.
He better perform for the rest of the season because I'm going to have my eye on him for Blackpool.
Yeah, of course you are. He will. He's good. He's class, honestly. I mean, he's yours. You want him to perform well, don't you?
He doesn't feel like ours. He doesn't feel like ours.
No, but he is, unfortunately. Unless you're loaning us back for next season.
Well, maybe this will make it feel more like ours, and it will annoy Lee a little. It scores me a point here just to remind him what colour shirt owns him.
I know. We know. Mean bagged Forest. That's who they are.
Okay, but
you know what? Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. That you bang on about, and Jane did as well, about how you hate Forest and hate the fans because we've got Josh Bowler. The fans.
It's not to do with you.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with us. Yeah.
No, but Jane was just giving you no sympathy because she was just seeing Nottingham Forest across everybody and thinking, I just hate Nottingham Forest, so you can all suffer because I've suffered. I wasn't quite as bad as her. She's been the one that's needed therapy over all this. Not she's been really affected by it all and very upset about losing because she loved him. She just fell in love with him and would we buy him back? Yes, we would.
Then. Let's go back to the question because I want to know. Really, from your point of view, is that as good as you've seen them play this season? Because we know, I mean, we can answer the second part of that question, definitely.
You've played better than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I was, if I'm being honest, I thought Forest at times were like amazing. I mean, we were saying, there was times where Jane was saying, you pick the ball up really quick and react to it quick and make a decision quick. And Jane was saying that's one of the things that she was noticing especially in the first half, when you came back at us a bit after we got the goal, it kind of went a bit all Forest. And, we were saying that's the difference between the quality of player, that decision making in an instant. Whereas sometimes you see us, our guys will be thinking about it, looking around, and by the time they've decided on what they're doing, it's gone. But Blackpool and clinical finishing would not be in a word association game. If I said to you Blackpool, or if you said to me Blackpool, I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't say clinical finishing. It would be the last thing on my mind, to be honest. I'd be like, can't take a free kick, not very good on corners, bottom of the third of the championship, but we were clinical, weren't we? What
the thing is, Lee,
all about?
The thing is, Lee, I mean, Blackpool were fantastic and we were awful. But if you actually look at it, we missed a lot of
sitters,
good chances that we should have just put away. We could have had 4 in the first half. And it would have been ridiculous,
and somebody's pointing it out there, Simon F.
That's not taking anything away because at the end of the day, you have to score. So that's not taking anything away from Blackpool. But the actual fact is, it's a bit ridiculous, really. We missed easy chances. We
did miss easy chances, and of course, as Simon S pointing out, there's a couple of times when I kind of went goal because I thought it was going in. You know what I mean? But I'm a nightmare to sit next to. Nobody wants to sit next to me because I'm, I am the person. I think, oh, goal, it's going in. I never have. I think, oh, it's in, and. I drive.
Well, can we ask Lee? Can we ask
you about
sit
next to me ever again? Sometime she'll never go back to Wembley and sit next to me in a playoff final. She's made it crystal clear. I was a nightmare for the last 15 minutes. It was like horrendous as we were hanging on at
you
Wembley.
were already like 6-0 up, mate. You were fine at that stage.
At
Wembley.
That's what I said at the end of the video. To anybody watching this, I am actually relaxed. I'm 4-0 up. I'm not screaming. I'm not having an heart attack. I'm just relaxed. And then you scored right as I was saying it, which is quite funny. But normally I am, honestly, I am Mr. We got 3 and I said to Jane, Jesus, there's still 10 minutes to go. Can they come back? That's how I am. You know what I mean? When the 4th went in, I went mental. That was when I lost it, as you can probably tell on the video, when the 4th went in, because I thought then surely we've got about 8 minutes to go. They can't get 5 in 8 minutes. I'm thinking, but Blackpool fans, we've had it. We've been 3-0 up with 10 minutes to go and drawn 3-3. So it's.
We have against Norwich, wasn't it, a few years ago?
Yeah, I'm really negative. I am really that moany old. I have to cut
Another-
loads of the stuff out.
Another
That
thing
I
you
say,
mentioned,
honestly. I'm
another thing you
terrible.
mentioned in your vlog that I wanted to just pick
Yeah.
up with you is that normally Forest fans they stay to the end. They stay to the end. But you know you know yourself, away fans, it's normally pretty much the same core of fans that go to all. So
Sure.
you know they've been to all of them, and our fans have seen us lost 3-0 away against Man U, 4-0 away against Leicester, 5-0 away against Arsenal, 6-0 away against Man City, and I think going up to Blackpool, they weren't expecting
final straw.
Yeah, it was a final straw. I think they thought enough's enough. You know.
Yeah, sure.
I want to go home.
Yeah, it's not nice. But you know, when we're doing football vlogs, you've got to stick it right, you know, right to the end.
Absolutely.
I've never walked
We've
out
been to the
early
same, yeah.
up until just before the boycott, where I did walk out early, and I actually boycotted before the boycott. I bought this 2-year. They called it the Riga Revolution. We got Jose Riga in, and they did a 2-year deal on a season ticket. I thought, I'll have a bit of that, you know, Jose Riga Revolution, 2-year season ticket for the price of one. Well, that's brilliant. I lasted about half the season, and then I just walked out. We were about 3-0 down at half time or something, and I just walked out, and I never went back, and I never watched another game on that 2-year season ticket from there. It was because, and then the boycott came in just at the end of that season, and so nobody went. Well, some did, but most boycotted.
I admire Blackpool fans for the way they did that, because it's not easy to do. You know, people love their clubs, no matter where they are in the league. They love their clubs, and it must be
horrendous.
Really hard to make that sacrifice to not go.
Yeah, it was getting, obviously, you know, a lot of the problem was the Oystons taking out the money, but that wasn't the reason why we boycotted. We started boycotting because they started suing fans for what they had said on message boards and trawling back through messages from, you know, it was like a police thing where, you know, they're going through it, or anything that was said about them that was bad.
So
there was a guy, we were on Sky, and the headline in the local paper was Oyston, a big quote, "We are not thieves." That's what he put, you know, that was the big headline on the Gazette of that night. And he'd scribbled out the "not" in black. So, and he held it up as he was going out. You know, he's on a stand somewhere, obviously showing it to the Oysters or something. It says, obviously, "Oyston, we are thieves." And Sky picked it up, and then they sued him. They sued him for defamation and everything. So, you know, which is a very hard.
Well, if Forest ever did that, I'd
got
be
25 grand out of it for that.
25,000
quid he had to pay, which the fans all clubbed together to pay off. Yeah, there was a couple of fans that we all had to contribute to. But there was one fan that they took to court. There's one fan that they took to court, and he'd been ripped off by them, and he hadn't been paid, and he'd said something, and they took him to court for his defamation. And when they got to court, there was something like about a line of about 100 people going to court ready to testify against that they'd been ripped off. And they just stopped the court case, and they paid him £200,000 to shut him up. So that was rather marvelous. You know, like that airplane scene where they're all lining up with it.
I know the picture of it.
So so that was a funny moment in all of it. Yeah.
God, how did we get onto this subject? I have no idea. Let's bring it back a bit to football. I want to ask you, from an outsider's perspective, looking at that Forest team. Was there any players that stood out to you that you, as you watch? I mean, you're gonna have to talk about my mate here, mate. Yeah, I'm not giving you a free pass on him. But did any of the players stand out? I know it's hard because they all played pretty shit. But
it's hard to tell off that game because we were. I mean, I'm the world's worst for asking about the other team because I've always been the same as a football fan. I am just like, I only see Tangerine, you know what I mean? I only see that we're on the attack or we're on the defense. And I don't really notice too much, you know what I mean? I know you're attacking us, but I couldn't tell you which one of those players. I'm not one of those vloggers that's going to be telling you the names of the players on the pitch, because I just, to me, you're playing in your colour and we're playing in our colour, and it's tangerine versus the other colour, the blue or whatever. It's like a dark.
The feeling's mutual, mate.
Yeah,
I only
so
knew you had a player because he was called Yates, and we've got one of those.
Well, Yates, he would. I did notice him because I thought, oh, Yates and Jerry.
Charlie
Yates,
Patino. I know him. I meant to ask you about him the other day, actually, how he's getting on, but I forgot to ask.
Yeah, he's he didn't have the greatest game. He took him off, didn't he? Because there was one moment in the second half where he was kind of running with the ball back to, running towards goal, and you dispossessed him about 25 yards out, took it off him, and you nearly scored from that. And I think Michael, he just wasn't having the greatest.
Well, you know the irony there, Lee. He played for Arsenal in the FA Cup against us last year when we knocked Arsenal out. Charlie Patino was playing for them then, that day.
Ah, right. He's going to be a good little player, but he's still maybe just a little bit lightweight yet. But he's all right. But he needs an experienced centre mid with him. You know what I mean? To kind of give him the freedom. He's not really good in the.
So Lee, it was honestly none of our players that you looked at and you thought, wow, he's done something special, or he's
Johnson.
Brennan.
He didn't. He played like 2 minutes, mate.
I'm joking. He was on for a while. Give over. He was on for. I think he came on for.
I'm not. Look, Lee. I'm trying to get you.
You know what? Yeah, go on.
To big up him, Scarpa, 31. You must have seen him. He had the ball for half the match. The Brazilian, the legend.
Who?
Oh,
such a troller.
Now he's offending us. Forget they beat us.
Scarpa.
He's wearing those tangerine goggles.
He scarpered back to bloody Forest because he was.
It's like you're insulting one of my children right now, mate.
Of course, I noticed him with the bloody headband on. I was looking out for him. You told me we didn't have to injure him, so I was making sure we didn't, and we didn't.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you for that.
I'll tell you one thing we did have in that game, which we, I did.
Goals?
I did. No, I did mention at the end of the video that we need to sign that referee on for the rest of the season, because we actually had a referee.
He was shocking. He was shocking.
This is my point about everything, that you didn't like him, yeah? You're saying he's shocking.
Shocking.
When you say he's shocking, I will think he was brilliant. Yeah,
well, obviously, I don't expect you to agree with me.
So, seeing as I say just about every video that every referee is shocking, the other fans have got to be thinking this referee is all right. So he's got. When you're saying a referee is shocking, you'll be thinking the referee was on our side. I actually did think he was a little bit on our side. I thought he was, very generous to us. Yeah, there was a few times he could have blown for free kicks against us, and he kind of just let wave on. He didn't book any of our players or send anybody off, so that was a bonus. But most of the referees, honest to God, this season are just like as if they just absolutely hate us. They won't give us anything, and I'm hating them all.
Like that. When you're towards the bottom of the table, it always feels like the referees are against you.
Well,
and even with VAR,
every decision is magnified when you're struggling.
Yeah, I mean,
you notice it more.
If you're winning games 5-0. The referee can do whatever he wants because he's not affecting anything. So if you're just breezing teams away week after week after week, it doesn't matter even if the referee has a bad game. He doesn't hurt you so much. But when you're losing all the time and he is giving like every free kick to them, and he won't give you, your player goes down like a bag of spanners, and it's just play on, and then you just nudge somebody and it's free kick to them, and then you get players sent off. It just compounds everything when you're losing. Yeah, you do notice it, but
what I will add, Lee, is the ref was on your side.
We had a home,
but I felt like 9 of the Forest players were on your side as well, the way they performed yesterday.
Well, we love that. I tell you what, thank you very much. I've got to say, when I was talking about the game that we had with you, where you beat us 4-1, I said we gave you 3 goals, just gifted you a goal, and a lot of Forest fans were saying, well, that's you still got to score it. That was wonderful, wasn't it? That pass through to Jerry Yates. It was
Nico Williams.
What was
fantastic pass?
What you did is you lent us those 3 goals last season, and we've given you back this season.
We don't need it.
Yeah, so Forest fans were saying I was talking garbage and you were just brilliant, but no, we really did give you 3 goals last season, and you did really defend quite poorly at times and made it.
That's an understatement.
Quite easy. It was a surprise. I know I said we'd win 3-0. You know, I know I predicted that. And I was having a go at you all when it did go 3-0. So I was like, "They are, you're giving me shit and laughing at me about 3-0. And there we are, with 3-0, 4-0. Oh my god!" I was like, "This is." Well, I did say when I was coming out where the scores reversed, because it was something. I was like, "That's not possible. We can't."
I'm just glad we can only see the top half of your body on camera, mate. That's what I'm saying.
The thing is, Lee, as well, is that I'm not going to make any excuses, because when we saw that side that we put out, we all thought easy.
Yeah.
Because those players are all quality players.
Of course they are. Yeah.
Believe it or not. I wouldn't believe it from watching them, but they are,
So when players have cost money, aren't they?
we made 11 changes, literally 11 changes, but that's no excuse, because that team should have been good enough.
Yeah, because all those players. I don't know what the most expensive player on the pitch was there against us, but
well, Dennis is about 20 million.
Well,
no, probably Nico, wasn't it? Nico 17.
Nico 17.5 million.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Scarpa's worth 100 million. Dennis is 20.
Well, that's all our team. That's Simon Sadler bought Blackpool for 12 million. He got it all for 12 million. For when they always.
I could get by Blackpool then. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Why are we doing
now you drive a Ferrari rather than a Ferrari red bloody Corsa.
Guys, please keep donating and being members. Ignore that last comment.
Yeah, I could buy Blackpool. We 99p for a membership. Yeah. Watch what you're saying.
Oh, we got like 3 million members,
Fortunately, they all know you're a liar, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I want to ask you though about where was it? I think it was from Sci-Fi. Yeah, he's asking about the guy who scored your third goal, because it was a good finish.
CJ Anderson,
yeah. How is he as a player? Is he one that's like missed every time until he faced Forest, or is this normal for him?
No, he's a bit of a funny one, really, because he came, we signed him, and we played Everton in a pre-season friendly. First time we saw him, and Blackpool were like 3-0 up after 10 minutes, and he looked like he was just ripping them apart, completely. And he's one of the fastest players I've ever seen. And then he got an injury, and he was out for a while, and they had to. He broke his foot. He broke his foot, and it didn't work right. And he came back, and he had like a screw. That tends to
happen when your foot breaks, mate. It won't work right.
He had a screw put in. He had a screw put in his foot, and fans were getting a bit on his back because he'd lost quite a yard of pace and stuff. But nobody knew he had this screw in his foot, so they had to go back and take all that out and redo it. And he's back again now, and he's looking pretty much. I don't think he's as fast as he was at the first thing, but he is a good winger, and he gets. Fans can get on his back, but I love him. I think he's great, and you can see he's a proper winger. I think he's left or right footed, because he scored with his left, didn't he? He's on the left wing, but normally he's actually a right winger, so he's actually right footed. But it was a great goal with his left, and no, he's a really good player, and I like him, but he's not been getting games really. Or Pervader as well, who you probably saw was quite a tricky little...
Is that the same? Was he at Leeds last season or season before?
He's at Leeds, yeah. Is
he at Leeds? So he's on loan to you, is he?
He's on loan, and he's a bit of a... We went to like this night where you had a pie and a pint, and you could meet the players, and they sat up, they had all the young ones in with Michael Appleton, and he was talking, and he was just like bonkers. He was so funny. He couldn't stop giggling. When they started asking him stuff, he couldn't really answer the questions because he started giggling and stuff. He was just typical kid, 18-year-old or whatever. And he's like, where's he from? Originally, he's not
South American.
He is South American, yeah. And and he's not been turning up for training on time, and they've had a bit of falling out with him. But I think sometimes those kind of nations, they don't bother about time quite as much as we do. They're not, they don't live the lives to the clock like we do in
Mañana.
Anyway, it's all been sorted out, and he started playing now. And it is a bit like having a new signing, because he's not played many games, you know what I mean? But now we're seeing him and he's had man of the match 2 games in a row, and he is really exciting. He is a really tricky little player. He does, he can move the ball around with his feet and take it away from them, and just do those little things that you kind of watch and think, God, how the hell did he just get past those 4 guys with that little turn and stuff? So he is quite exciting, and he's only little as well, and he's quite little, and I love him. Jane loves him. She says he's like, what's he called? Rojas off Ted Lasso. Football is life. That guy.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, we got some questions for you, Lee. Guys in the chat, get your Q&As in on the tab in the chat for Lee.
Yeah.
First one coming up is from Simon F. He's saying, Lee, is Scarpa good enough to lace Bowler's boots?
You actually thinking? I think it's a hard thing for me to say because I've only seen him once, and I've seen Josh Bowler, lots and lots of times, which is the point I was making on another channel, which we're not going to mention, where they were saying, Bowler wasn't any good. And I said, well, how many times have you seen him play? You've only seen him twice. I watch him every week in, week out. So I know a lot more about him. And it's like the same thing now with me and Brennan Johnson. He didn't really do anything. In fact, he actually got booked into, he couldn't get past Husband. If you can't get past Husband, who isn't he's not fast Husband. So I was like,
what are you going to do with the wife, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not that good. So for me, if you ask me about Brennan Johnson, based on what I saw in that cameo performance there, I would say no, he's not a patch on Bowler. But probably when you're watching him week in, week out, and see him on a good day, and
he scored 20.
I'm sure he's very excited.
He scored 20 odd goals in the Championship last season.
Yes, of course. So he's a good player, but I haven't seen him as
against you last season.
He did, but we gave them him. We passed the ball. Come on, the goalkeeper.
Right, the keeper one, I'll give you that. The
other one,
but not the other ones.
Yeah, no, he played well that day. So from what I saw of him, he didn't do much, did he? Really, in that game, really, he didn't tear us apart or anything. So based on that one performance, I'm knowing Bowler as, I would say, Bowler, because I see more of Bowler, but I'm sure if he was in our team and I was watching him week in, week out, and he was doing whatever he does for you, I'd be like, he'd be the third Jesus coming along, wouldn't he? He'd be another one.
Earlier this season, we played West Ham at home, and Declan Rice was poor. So if you just judged him on that, you'd say,
you think Declan Rice.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, we were playing United at Bloomfield Road. Drop that in the Premier League because we have been there. Somebody actually commented from Forest
United is that.
Somebody actually commented in the comments on my video, Forest fan, I think. It's so nice to see grassroots fans, and I thought, is that are they insulting me? What? We're in the bloody Championship, grassroots. What the fuck are you talking about?
I've got to see who wrote that. I
took it
probably
as,
one of ours, probably Simon F.
I'm sure you meant to, it was in my comments on the video. I said, I'm sure you meant genuine fans. I thought, I took it as she meant, I don't think she meant grassroots really, because we're not grassroots. So we're Championship. I actually put, I know being in the Premier League takes you to a whole different world, but we're not quite that low at Blackpool. I think that was the answer I said to her. But against United, Wayne Rooney was playing. And he was garbage in that game, honestly. And I kept looking at him, and he's really little, Wayne Rooney. I didn't think he was that small. Yeah, he was really tiny. And then when they took him off, all the Blackpool fans were like happy he was going off. And I said to my dad, I'm not. He's having a nightmare. You don't want him going off. And they brought somebody else on a tourist to I can't remember his name now. But it was a right fast lot.
Nanny.
Come to me later.
Nanny.
No, we're going back to 2010, 11 here, aren't we? So 2011. So it's I can't remember. Anyway, but it changed the game. Yeah. Have you got it? Have you got the comment?
Oh no, I couldn't find it.
It's on there.
I think you put it on there, mate.
Somebody put it on. It was from some nice lady who was saying it was so nice to see happy grassroots fans.
I reckon it would have been said. Well, I'd like to hope in spite, but it sounds like it was said. I think it was said in the nicest way,
I
unfortunately.
think it was said in.
Yeah.
It was
Maybe
said
it was
in
from
the
my
nicest.
Smurf account. I've got another question for you here, Lee, from James. He's interested in what's going on in terms of the promotion and relegation race. He says, Lee, who'll be promoted this season and who will go down? And I think he's in reference to the championship there. Not that we care, because may I remind you, as the screens behind you say, we're Premier League. But, you know, for the sake of variety on the show, we'll indulge you with this one.
I think Burnley are going to do it.
They're running away with it a bit now, aren't they?
They're starting to lose good
form. Yeah.
Sheffield United have really, when they played us here, were just too good for us on that day. You know, I've got to say, and they're probably the first team that has looked too good for us. We should have beat Norwich. We were hammering Norwich. I don't know how we didn't beat Norwich. I don't know how they won. We just made one silly daft mistake in defence and they scored from it, and that was all they did really. We battered Norwich, so I don't think they'll get back up. Sunderland are an outside chance, I think, of if they get in the playoffs, because they are a massive team. You know what I mean? They're big. You know, they are.
It's a shithole.
It's very congested, though, Lee. If you have a look at the table, all the way down to 13th, 14th, we've got a chance of getting in the playoffs.
Well, put a bet on
even
Blackpool.
yourselves, really. Look, I mean, is Josh Bowler's big enough influence on you to, one, save you from relegation, and two, push you further up the league?
There are people now in Blackpool have been putting sneaky little bets on Blackpool to go up through the playoffs. So it has changed. Are
they still drunk from the game?
Yeah, well, I think you could get it at something like 25,000 to 1. I think it might have been 250,000 to 1 or something for Blackpool to go up.
Wasn't that the odds on you beating us 4-1?
Oh, the odds were pretty high. Somebody actually posted somewhere what the odds were for 4-1. Who would have thought 4-1? I mean, it really was quite unbelievable.
Crazy.
So
who goes down, Lee? Who goes down?
Well, you've ruined Huddersfield, haven't you? You know that they're gone. They haven't got a team left, have they? They're just knackered, Huddersfield.
Even to their manager, mate. Yeah.
It's just so bad, isn't it? Really, you've just ruined that.
You're welcome, by the way. You're welcome.
I know. They're keeping us off the ball.
Is that something, because we're not on the championship forums obviously anymore for any reason? But is that something that's spoken? Is that something that's spoken about? What Forest did to Huddersfield? Because we can't stop laughing about it.
I know. Yeah. And look where they are. Bless them.
And Lee, just to add to that. There's rumours that we're about to loan out both the players we bought from them as well, just to add insult into
not to them.
No, to the former manager at West Brom.
You feel irked about Josh Bowler. We took both their best players and their manager off them.
I know, but two wrongs don't make a right. So it doesn't make us feel any better, to be honest. But the other teams,
it makes us feel quite powerful. So I'm good with it, mate.
Wigan.
I was thinking as well, all this crying and bawling you lot are doing about Josh Bowler. £6 million for a championship player. It's a bloody lot. We never bought. Apart from Carvalho, we never bought players for that amount in the championship. So $6 million is a good price for a championship player.
Yeah, but you're in the Premier League. So you can buy players for $6 million now. You're entitled to. It's all right. You're not in the championship anymore. You've gone up.
We never got $6 million for
any money. Everybody knows you've got 180 million, so the price goes up the minute you come knocking on the door.
I'm talking about from your winging
point. It's Nottingham Forest that spent 240 million. How much?
Oh yeah, where did you get that evaluation? Yeah, can I pull you up on that, Lee? Where did you get your evaluations from and what we've spent so far this summer?
From you.
No, not from us.
What? You said you spent over 200 million?
I've heard you say over 200 million, over 300 million. I don't know where you get it.
And he got the amount of players wrong. He said 23.
200 million.
We didn't tell you that.
We didn't tell you that.
I think we did. I think it's about a measly 150 million we spent.
150. I stand corrected.
And it's 24 players.
That's only the players that are actually playing for you. Never mind, add on all the rest that aren't playing for you that you signed as well.
Last season, Lee, we bought Sam Surridge in January for 2 million, and we thought that was an incredible amount of money for us to spend.
I can't handle him. He does my OCD. No, he does my OCD in.
Why?
I can't read his name.
Oh,
Sturridge.
It's missing the T. I keep looking at it. So have they missed it off? I know he's Surridge, but
Only morons had the T on, mate. His name's
I
definitely not got
couldn't,
the T in
honestly.
it.
I'd be OCDing on him. I'd be like, no, I can't call him Surridge.
It's easy.
I'd be
Just
saying
say Sturridge without the T.
I know, but I'd be
Sturridge.
saying Sturridge all the time if he was our player. I'd just be making the mistake all the time.
Would you take him? Would you take him? Because there's talks he's going
Yeah.
to either Burnley
I'd take any
or
of your
Sunderland.
players, to be honest. I'd have taken any of them, to be honest.
Can you have Cook
I
and
thought you were
Cole back,
all
please?
right, to be honest. I thought we were just really, really good.
To be
I
fair,
didn't
you're
think you
right.
played that badly. You had loads of
No.
chances. It could have easily been 4-4, couldn't it?
Exactly.
Let's be honest. But
Easily.
we 4-1 in a blue moon, and it only happens probably once every solar eclipse. We were clinical. We're never clinical. Blackpool are never, ever clinical. We miss chance after chance after, if you watch my videos, you can watch them all. There's bloody, I've got obviously highlights. We're flashing them over, we're flashing them wide, knocking in, kicking off the line, defending. It's just all the time. We just never can put teams to bed. But for some reason, we were just clinical against you.
Well, going back,
I also think as well, when you get into the Premier League, they give you a certain amount of space that you don't get in the Championship. And when you're in the Championship, League One don't give you even less space. They're just like little terriers. And the more you go down, the more they're like in your face all the time. And the Premier League, there's a little bit more space, but they use pace on you, don't they? But they don't really close you down so quick. And I think readjusting yourself from what you've been playing, because we had the same problem. We went into the, obviously Premier League, and we drew Southampton, who were then in the Championship, and they breezed us away because they were just on us, and we were used, we got used to playing Premier League football, and it is an adjustment, to come. And I think maybe you just didn't expect us to be that, like we were. And also, you're all big bollocks now, aren't you? Anyway, I mean, you send your coaches down on their own, you fly your players down to be picked up by the coach at the airport to take them to the ground, then run them back to the airport to fly.
Mate.
Doesn't do us any bloody good, though, does it?
Doesn't do us any favours, does it?
It's only 2.5
You meant to
hours.
be on my side. You two meant to be on my side.
It's 2.5 hours at the most from Nottingham to Blackpool. Well, you don't need to fly there, for God's sake.
Yeah, but you got to go past some real shitholes to get there. And then
that's why you lost.
The shithole of Blackpool. You might as well fly over him.
You
don't
think
have to
you're Man
smell him that way.
United, that's the problem. You think you're Man United, and it's just no good. You've got to get real. You've got to get real. Remember where you are.
Well, let's remember where you are. Yeah, which is bottom of the nearly bottom of the championship.
We know, but it's upside down. We know that.
But I'm going to retract my statement.
Is upside down.
Listen. I'm having a moment here. I'm going to retract my statement about saying you guys reminded me of a shitty Leicester.
Yeah,
because what I will change that to is you remind me of an inmate on death row now. Yeah, someone who's on death row. Yeah, their fate is sealed. Okay. And what happened on Saturday was you won your court appeal just to have your needle injection delayed by a few weeks. Because you're going to go to Southampton now, mate, and they're crap, but they'll probably beat you and knock you out. So was there any point in this cup run? Is it going to help your case during the season?
We get to go. Well, for me, it's great because we're going to get a whole new load of people who, if you get beat as a YouTube vlogger, if you get beat, the other team love to watch your videos because they like to see you crying.
That is true.
And all the rest of it, they like to see you in tears, they like to see you miserable, they like to see you coming out. They like to give you shit in the comments.
We are horrible as humans, aren't we?
So you get loads of people watch your videos, and then you get subscribers because they all, feel a bit sorry for you at the end of the day when they see you crying and all the rest of it. So it's all good. There's nothing good, and it's another big ground that I've never been to, so I'm quite looking forward to it.
Well, you'll get to see fireworks as well because they do a fireworks display before the show because there's no fireworks during the match with how crap Southampton are. So they do a nice little fireworks, going off.
By the way, Lee, you know that crappy stand we've got down one side. At Forest Ground.
Yeah.
You've got one. That's been demolished.
Stand.
That's being demolished at the end of this season. They're building a.
Well, you've got the money now, haven't you?
4-tier. 10,000 seater stand. So
that'll be amazing, and that'll be a great ground then.
Yeah.
The thing I kind of noticed with Forest Ground, obviously being in the away end, was the getting in. It's very, very tight. You could only get like 2 people up And when I was going in, I'm thinking, God, if there's a fire or anything, you've got to get out. These stairs are quite tight, to get back down. And when I went to Swansea,
from the side.
You can go onto the pitch, We will let you on the pitch in the right circumstances.
Yes, of course, but what I mean, it's very tight and very old. When we went to Swansea, I don't know if you've been to Swansea's ground. It's like when you walk up to they have a concourse going all the way around, don't they? Like the whole way, and it's about 20 meters wide. It's huge, and the staircases are like, I don't know, about 40 meters wide as you walk up. It's just so much space. It's beautiful, Swansea's stadium.
It's because there's a lot of sheep. They've got to get up and down.
How long have you been at Bloomfield Road?
Well, we've been at Bloomfield Road since, I think they moved. They used to play at Rakes Hall in the 1800s. I think they moved just in about 1901. I couldn't tell you exactly.
It's like ours is a proper old ground. And
it's a proper old ground, but they redeveloped where they were, if you know what I mean. So all of it's
same as it, obviously, but it's still a traditional ground. I hate
it's always been at Bloomfield Road. It's not a traditional ground.
I hate all these homogenous Derby County type grounds that are all, you see that one, you see Middlesbrough's the same, such is the same. Our ground is a proper old ground, even though it's been modernised.
Well, ours is one of those shitty grounds, really. It's just smaller, so it doesn't look like it's a big shitty ground. And we haven't finished it off. We've got a temporary stand on one side, so you think this is all right.
Have you been to Luton's ground?
Oh, I love Luton.
It's funny though, isn't it?
It's fantastic. You go through someone's house to get into the ground. It's like the entrance is it's in like a row of terraced houses, isn't it? And it's a bit of a nightmare though, because they've put the seats like bolted onto the terrace, aren't they? So you have a step where you stand, it's like one step and another step down. So you can't even, it's not even flat where you stand. It's like, you're all standing up. You've got a step in between you. Oh my God. It's a bit, it's a bit different.
I used to live near Luton and it's
I liked it. You walked in, we've done a vlog, we've done a football tourist guide to Luton. We had a great time. I went to a jazz club.
That shouldn't have taken you long, mate. There's nothing there apart from the airport.
We had a great time in Luton.
Oh, mate, come on.
The club was ace. Listen, we look for joy in the things, and if you look for joy, you can find joy in most things. But if you're looking for the negatives, you'll find them. And
I was looking for anything,
but that's the way you've got to be. You've got to find the joy in it. I mean, I walked in in fact. Oh, we had such a big argument on the way down to Luton because I always forget things, right? I always forget stuff. I always have to go back, get halfway down the road, say, "Oh my God, I forgot my wallet," and I have to go back and all this. And she, Jane gives me shit all the time. We get to the Blue Tickle Trout on the motorway, and Jane goes, "Oh God, you're not gonna believe this! I forgot the tickets." I was like. So I thought, great, I'll save this one. I'm going to save this one up. So we went down to Luton, and then we went to the ground because she was so panicked. She wanted it on the Friday we were going down. She wanted the tickets, the arranged to send them down, and she got this right miserable cow at the ticket office, which was like, computer says no, no way, none of these tickets. So we had to pick them up, and it was all stressful because she had to pick them up before the game, and she wasn't sure if they're going to be there. But there was a right little old guy who was like, he'd been there for, I said, how long have you been here? He was like stadium security officer, and his answer was 49 seasons, which I was like, he even counts how long he's been there in seasons. It's just beautiful. It's a bit like the joke, isn't it, about the guy says, how long have you been married to? He says, I've been pulling out of a foot. Yeah, we've been married for 7 seasons or something, didn't he? That joke. But yeah, I walked in. He showed me around. He couldn't wait to show me the ground. So he took me on a little tour while Jane was having the hassle, and I filmed it. It's on there. And when I walked in, I thought, oh my God, this just like reminds me of Bloomfield Road. When I was, it's like all the old stands in it. But the weird thing about there is they've got a floodlight which is in front. So the whole floodlight is in front of the stand. So anybody who's sat in those seats is watching the game through the floodlight, aren't they? Through the pylons of the floodlight. They have to look through that to watch the game. Oh my God.
Wait, so it's stupid. The whole thing about Luton is stupid. Like, even their shopping centre is called the Mall. It's like, what, are you American now? It's... It's just such a shithole. It's like the
Oh, no,
only
we
good
had
thing
we
is
had
the
we
airport
had
is
a
there
good
to get
time.
you out, and the A6 back up towards Bedford. That's
Oh.
the only good things
And there
about
was this wonderful festival with all the Asians. I don't know what it was. It was some sort of thing. It wasn't ramen. It was some, and they were giving
Diwali. I
everybody
think it'd be
tea
Diwali,
on
wouldn't it?
tea on the way in and everything. Oh, it was joyful. We had a joyful time, and they were all in like because Luton have nicked our colour, haven't they? You know, they've gone orange, haven't they? Now they never used to be orange, but now they're orange, like orange, you know, tangerine and white.
Oh, you just called yourselves orange.
No,
you had to go at me
they're
for saying
orange.
that. You had to go at me for saying that.
Yeah, they're orange. We're tangerine and white. We're still only. They don't call it tangerine. We are tangerine, but they have nicked. It's very close. Their scarves, you know, look like when we were going down, you couldn't tell who was who. To be honest, half the time you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about. Do you know the story about why you wear tangerine? Is there a story?
I know exactly why. Yeah.
Can you tell us?
The reason why we play in tangerine and white, we used to play in light blue and dark blue stripes, and one of the directors, I think he was also an international referee, and he went out. He was either referee or he went out to watch Holland versus somebody, and they played in tangerine and white. And he just came back. He said, "You know what? I've just seen a fantastic colour. I've watched Holland, and they look amazing in tangerine and white." And they changed it in about 1926, I think, to tangerine and white. And we've been tangerine and white ever since. But we used to be light blue and dark blue stripes.
Now you play like Holland. It's amazing.
Oh, I wouldn't mind Johan Cruyff in the team, but Holland at the moment.
Oh, wait, it's Brazil, and we've not quite hit that yet.
Well, when
weren't
Scarpa
you keen
wears
on the
it,
goalkeeper kit? And Janko was not enjoying your goalkeeper kit. That sort of really, really wishy-washy grey sort of thing. It looks like it's been in the wash and come out with the blues or something. One of those colours where it's a bit wishy-washy. But no, the kit was nice. I thought you had a kit last year, didn't you? Which was, I think I did on my video. It had like tangerine and yellow. Yeah, no, and somebody actually mentioned, because it was the one thing that it was the shirt that I was attracted to straight away, and I was like, oh, I like that, when I went in the club shop, and somebody said, oh, typical that you'd go for something with like tangerine in it or whatever, and it
was one of those shirts. It was one of those shirts where you didn't like it when you first saw it, but then it grew on me quite quickly. And I did like the third kit as well, which is kind of bluey with a bit of pink as well.
Pink in it,
so the kits. I'm not a massive
pink.
fan.
I'm comfortable with pink. If I have to wear pink, I'm comfortable with it.
Or as we would call it, salmon. But I'm still not hell bent on these kits this year. The away kits. I don't know. I still just don't quite like our away kit, but that's just personal opinion. All right, let's move the conversation forward, mate. So there's another question in from here. Do you think you got a better chance now of having your season kick-started after beating Forest yesterday?
Yeah, of course.
Or do you think that you're going to have a bit of a hangover come your next match from it?
No, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. We've got Watford next away, and everybody's going in headbands, so it's going to be a headband fest because of the bowler headband. So we're all going to Watford in headbands. Blackpool have been starting to get a run of draws, you know what I mean? So we'd stop losing and we're starting to get draws, but we couldn't get a win, and that's now turned the corner. And I think a lot of it is belief. In football, you've got to believe, haven't you? And if you just can't get a win, and you're struggling, in the end, you just can't get a win. You can't buy a win. And now we've got a win, and a convincing win. We didn't rag it. It wasn't like us, getting a penalty in the last minute or something. But no.
All right, you beat us. We get it.
Yeah, we played really well, so that's got to give them confidence. And I think we'll kick on from that. I mean, the young lad that played at right back, we signed him early on in the season, but he was over in Ireland. He's been Ireland's Player of the Year or something, but we couldn't have him until January. So Andy Lyons, so he just slotted in nice. He looked okay. So he's we've got Bowler in. We've got this Morgan Rogers who from City on loan, which came on, and I thought he looked all right. He looked a big lad, looked like he knew what he was doing. So he's another one. And there's another couple that they're trying to get in. We're trying to get a midfielder and a centre half in. So hopefully this week we'll see that. And I think if they do that, I think we'll be okay. And if a couple of the players,
our cup run certainly helps us, I believe. Certainly breed confidence.
Yeah, it just gives a feel-good factor, and there hasn't been for weeks. And you know, fans have been Appleton's back, and that's not good either. You know, when your fans are on your manager's back all the time, and you know, singing "Sacked in the Morning," all that. It's just it's hard. I wouldn't like it if somebody was singing that at me. You know what I mean? You've got to be pretty hard to take.
It does look as if he's been dug up out of a grave, though, doesn't he?
Yes, the first time we called him Voldemort the first time.
Yeah.
So he still has that moniker here, Voldemort.
Upset him. He looks hard.
Yeah. All right. I want to. I think we've been fairly.
Can spare.
Yeah. You can have him. We'll give him to you on a free. I think Grant's talking about Steve Cook. He's pacey. He's young. Yeah. He's
we need experience, really. That's
Prem experience.
Yeah, you can have him. He's got plenty of experience.
Well, send him our way.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're watching, what's he called? The owner of this?
Steve Cook. Yeah. Steve Cook.
What's your owner called? I can't remember his
name.
Marinakis. If you're watching this, you know, this stream, you've been mean to us. So I know you give us bowler back, but lend us. Well, just give us this guy then.
I think Cook is probably available on a free, and he is a good defender in the championship.
But how much is he on? How much is he
on?
We'll
pay his wages. It's fine.
I'll drive him up, mate.
You'd have to.
Will Reno pay his wages and I'll drive him up? Happily, absolutely. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, we've been men, haven't we, Lee? We've taken it on the chin. We've congratulated you.
You haven't run and
my sore throat hasn't. You know, I can feel it still. I've been messaging Lee all week saying my sore throat. We want to start talking about the League Cup match this week with Wolves. You are more than welcome to stay and give us your opinions on it as well. Do you want to hang around, or how do you feel?
There's not a lot of. I won't spoil it for you. You'll enjoy yourselves, and thanks for having me on. Absolutely.
Just saying, Lee, if we do beat Wolves, we'll be in the semi-final of the League Cup.
Yeah, well, good luck on that. Oh, good. I can stay if you want me to stay. I won't have much to say on it because I don't know much about Wolves or you. So.
It's absolutely up to you, mate.
I can stay here as a fourth wheel, you know what I mean?
If you don't mind listening to us moaning about how crap we are, you're welcome.
I'll be take pleasure out of it. Thanks a lot for having me on, and thanks a lot for for letting us go through to the fourth round. And thanks for Bowler. Thanks for Bowler. We don't hate you all.
I was just going to say, I've got a great contact for you for your Southampton vlog if you head down there. And we had the lads on our channel last week, and they were fantastic value as well. So,
okay. That'd be great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
That'd be great.
Definitely send us.
Yeah. And everyone in the chat, please go and give a little subscription over to Lee Charles TV because he's unbelievably fantastic. I've hated Blackpool. I'll be honest with you, because my brother was born there, so I've always hated Blackpool. My brother. But I've got a little soft spot for him now, and thank you for knocking us out of the cup because we didn't want to go through because we got more important
Well, you said you weren't bothered anyway, didn't you?
Exactly.
Not with that one, no.
Just the result, Lee, we could have done without being humiliated.
Yes, we're not sorry. We're not sorry about that because
when you come up against
good to see a goal at Blackpool every now and again. A 4, but that might be we may have used up our quota for the month.
Honestly, you never know. And just to leave you on a good point, actually, Ant alluded to it. But FA Cup run we had last season was the catalyst for us, and we had a run of Premier League teams, and you've had the same. Good luck to you, mate. I honestly hope you stay up, and I hope Bowler does, because we want our player to do well, and obviously if he's doing well, he's doing well for you guys. So genuinely good luck for the rest of the season. You've been great guests to have on our shows, and hopefully we don't see you again next season. But for other projects,
unless they get up through the playoffs, says.
Let's see. Put that bet on, mate. Put it on.
Someone's actually said that we could do with us beating or drawing at Southampton and getting extra.
Yeah, is there a replay in the next round, Lee?
Yeah, get a replay.
Well, there was after this one, wasn't there? So I think
there was. Yeah.
So we can help to the congestion and kind of keep them down there for you.
Mate. Yeah, take them back up the field.
I love this from Bobby. Where is it? Cheers, Lee. Now get the fuck off.
Get the fuck off. Right, okay. Thanks a lot. On that note, I'll leave you all. Thank you very much.
Lee, we'll speak again.
It's been a pleasure.
and we'll sort a few things out. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
You've been
of
an
course.
absolute sport, mate, and I've loved every
So have
second
you.
of it in the chat. Please go, just give him a quick click now. Omar's put the link in the chat for you guys. Just go click and subscribe and show some love to, you know, we've been in the championship before. Just because we're high and mighty now, let's support cracking content creators like
Let's
Lee.
support,
He's
let's
unique.
support grassroots football. Yeah.
Yeah, it was you posting them, wasn't it, on my bloody thing? Bloody grassroots football.
It was his burner account.
Fuck's sake. Right, I'm off. See you later, guys.
All the best, Lee. We'll catch up soon, buddy.
All right. Thank you very much.
Cheers, bye.
I'll click that little thing.
What an absolute legend. It's kind of, if we're going to lose to someone, let's lose to someone like that. He's absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
And
we
guys,
have...
I was going to say, if you haven't watched his vlog from yesterday, do give it a watch. It's actually fantastic. So give him a view from our lot. Go on, carry on, mate.
I was just going to say, now that we've been men, we took it on the chin. By the way, thank you for not backing me up in there, boys. Yeah, I was the weight of Nottingham on my shoulders. I appreciate it. We got bigger fish to fry, and we're starting this week, midweek, and it's playtime.
Yeah, playtime again.
And how are you feeling about this one? Because Anne, I know you and Cups, mate. Yeah, but we're getting closer to semis now. Yeah, are you starting to get the bug, or are you still Premier League?
I'm not excited about this game. You know, sort of magnitude of it and what we can achieve. That I've given my ticket to Ez.
Yeah, I'll be there, guys. But genuinely, you do want us to go through, and I don't think there's any one of us that doesn't want us to go through to the semi-final. Surely, we're not seeing this as another one of those games, are we? Not treating this game as Blackpool, are we?
Yeah, I mean, Spacebar's saying it, innit? Leicester City's the big one. Never mind, on to Leicester City at home in the quarters.
What's tempering any enthusiasm I might have had is who else is left in that cup.
Yeah, but that's you looking ahead as if we've already won. Because I watched Wolves yesterday. I'm not going to lie to you. They've got a good team. Guys in the chat, what do you think? Is this a done deal to beat Wolves at home? Or do you think this is going to be a tough one? Because their team is quality, man. I hate to say it. But they will be tough. Just never's alone, you know?
It'll be tough. Definitely be tough.
You've certainly got enough quality in that team to be in a lot better league position than they are in. And so it might be a false position for them. But will they have more focus on the league and, you know, take their eyes off the cup? I don't know. But you would expect they'd give us a good game. And it's not... I don't think Cooper's going to take it. Well, certainly based on what he saw from the players yesterday, he's going to be playing many of those in that Wolves game. I think it'll be a lot stronger first 11 playing against Wolves. And I'd welcome that, to be honest. I do totally agree that the big prize is beating Leicester on Saturday. But we can't take our eyes off that. But I think we've got a chance. Maybe they might play a weakened squad, but I don't think he'll play it too weak. I'm just a bit annoyed that Scarpa played a full 90 minutes today. That's the only annoyance from... Well, that's not the only annoyance.
And you're rolling your eyes at that.
That's the biggest annoyance from that game. Do you think you'll rest him on Wednesday, or do you think you'll play him?
Well, I just want to add, because he rolled his eyes, because I know what he's going to say, but go on. Why'd you roll your eyes when Ez said annoyed at 90 minutes?
Because the guy needs to play. And he played and he was fine. And I've said all along, when people say he could get injured, I've said all along, you can get injured in training. It happens all the time. You know?
Yeah.
And to be fair to Blackpool, they weren't crashing in on him. They weren't sliding on him. They weren't kicking him. He was quite comfortable. And I think 90 minutes under his belt is a good thing. So I have no problem with him staying on for 90.
I'd agree with that, but the game was dead. He wasn't...
Maybe it was just literally a match fitness kind of thing to get him up there to see if he can play for 90 minutes. If you take him off after 60 minutes, then you want to play him against Leicester. You don't know if he's going to last that 90 minutes or not. So maybe that was the thinking behind it. So I don't have a problem with it.
I just feel he's got a better opportunity of playing him against Wolves, and would have rather have seen him get a little bit longer. But I mean, I might be wrong.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'd rather have had
looking
You
forward
know, had
to, yeah.
half time at Blackpool, and then played more against. I agree with that. Yeah.
But what
He
do
might
you
not be
think
part
happens
of
now,
the
Ez?
team as well.
What do you think happens now? I want both your opinions on this and in the chat. How does this work with Scarpini in specific? Will he play him against Wolves or not? And if he does play him against Wolves, will he play him against Leicester? What do you think, Ez?
I got a feeling he won't start him against Wolves now, but he will play him against Leicester. I think Leicester has to be the bigger game in the context of it all. So if you're looking at rotation and player management, then that's how I'd probably do it. Have him on as a late sub in, second half sub in the Wolves game, however way it's going, give him some time out on the pitch, but have him primarily to start against Leicester. That would be, from my point of view, how I'd go about it.
What do you think, Aaron?
I actually agree 100% with Ez. I think that, I mean, we don't know this, but I'm thinking the plan may be playing the full game at Blackpool, where it doesn't really matter, and he can take it, you know, a little bit easy or whatever. And then I think Brennan will start against Wolves, but I think there's a chance he could come on after 65, 70 minutes, and then hopefully from the start against Leicester. I think that seems to be the plan.
I mean, you kind of touched on it, Ant, as well, and I believe as well. He wasn't playing at his full pelt yesterday. He was, you know, he was a couple of probably a couple of gears down off his top level. So it was more of a run out for him. And yeah, I think if it was a more intense game, he may have been taken off sooner and not given the full 90 minutes. So yeah, I can totally see that. And it's not a negative. We said. And I said to you, Wolverine, in your watch along yesterday, but we were surprised that actually he's thrown him in, because we were debating whether he would or not, and he has done, to be perfectly fair to Cooper. He was a standout yesterday. He was a standout player. We said that he's probably he's still, even not playing at full pelt, still a step ahead of some of the other players in terms of his speed of thought and his movement. But it will get better. He will. He is definitely a ray of hope, in my opinion. For
it's that kind of player as well, isn't he? That he's not going in for full-blooded tackles. He's not running around like a blue fly. He's that kind of quality player that you see that finds space just by standing and walking. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have to run to find space. So yesterday, I think it was fairly easy for him, to be honest. You know, in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost yoga football for him. I mean, you saw even with the little headers, he's looking around before he's flicking on headers. It's not just get my head to it; it's thought out. You know, he's a very intelligent footballer, and let's just hope we've got the intelligence around him to get the best out of him and our squad as it is. Because I've seen some really good signs in these last two performances from him that shows that he's ready to hit the ground running. I think if Cooper asked him, he'd say, I want to play 90 minutes against Wolves and I want to play 90 minutes against Leicester. But as we know, you got to temper that. Players will want to play every single game. But I would go with what I suggested, that a second half sub for the Wolves game and starting against Leicester.
I tell you what I did notice as well that made me smile a little bit is that, you know, when he's off the pitch, he's always smiling. He's always grinning. He's always messing about. Did you see how serious he looked on that pitch? I thought it looks like a different bloke. He was like stern, you know. He was in play football mode, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I'm just opening up the Q&A because I've seen a good question from where is it? It was a really good question. I'm stalling for time. Who asked about how Scarpa and MG Dub fit in? I'm sorry, I can't find it now.
That's a great
someone
question.
In the chat just did, and obviously I can't find it. I'm sure Omar will find it. Thank you, Brindley. Can you chuck that in the Q&A, because I want to address that in a minute. So the Q&A is open. I've also put out a poll just to ask, will Cooper start Scarpa against Leicester, yes or no? Because I still think he's going to try and bleed him in, and I just still feel that he feels that that team against Southampton potentially is his starting 11, the one he trusts, etc. And I just think that's gonna happen. We'll come back to these. Do you want to say something on that? Or?
No, well, just very briefly, I was going to say, I said a little while ago that I felt that Cooper really likes him because of that, and I'll go back to it, but that training video where
You're
he's
basing a
laughing
lot
with
on
him,
that
he had
hug,
his
mate.
arm around- Yeah, I know, but that shows he likes him. He's got that rapport with him. I never saw him do that with Bardi. You know, it shows that he's got that rapport with him. And I think he probably rates him. So I said all along, I think he will play him. Now, you know, we've established that he probably won't start against Wolves, but I think he probably will against Leicester. I think Cooper thinks of him as one of our main men. I really believe that. We'll have to see.
All right, well, let's address Brinley's question now. Which one of you wants to take this? He says that, how do you think Cooper will play?
I'm going for a we.
Okay, thanks. So, Ez, how do you think Cooper will play Scarpa with MG Dub? They have both been playing at Cam in a 4-3-1-2. Where does it fit in? And I guess the question is Scarpa going to be a starter? You know, so how would they fit in together in your mind?
It's a great question because it was going through my mind watching the game yesterday and seeing what Scarpa brings to the team and what Morgan Gibbs White bring to the team, and how would we work it? I would I would like to hope that Cooper will use them both. Scarpa can float around, give him a freer role, which he seemed to have yesterday. I think Dino from our high press team mentioned that yesterday, and it was quite evident that he was given a freer role. Now, can that still work with Gibbs White having a more central role? I don't know. It might mean pushing one of them out to one of the wings, but I'd like to see Cooper they must be trying it out in training and they must have better ideas. I know that what my idea would be for these two games anyway, in terms of changing our formation and being a lot braver and on the front foot, especially leading up to a very important game at home against Leicester in the league, because we owe them big time. And we can't afford. We already lost a 6-pointer against them. We cannot afford to lose another one. We definitely owe them for the away tie, and I want to go there on the front foot against them. So I would change to a 4-2-3-1, which would give them a bit more, give the ability to have a freer role. Because I don't know. I mean, one year I'm hoping will be fit for Saturday. Whether he'll be risked on Wednesday or not, we don't know. I want to see. I've said this. I want our most creative players to be making balls for our lone striker. If a one is going to do anything, he's going to do something with proper service. And when we give him proper service, he can put the ball away. So that's what I want to see, and I want to see it almost implemented against Wolves. So we've got a set formation that we're going to go into that Leicester game with. That would allow Gibbs White and Scarpa to play in that same team for me, and that's the best way to do it. But I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
I kind of agree. It has to be a 4-2-3-1 to get the best out of both of them. I don't see Cooper changing the formation. I think he will shoehorn if he has to instead of changing the formation. I think he's probably going to go. Look, this is what I think he might do. Is he'll probably. I don't think he's going to drop Brennan. I don't. And Brennan would be my choice for dropping. And
I was talking specifically for the Leicester
exactly
game.
what I'm covering here. Go on. But before we do, Crazy Cat Lady, thank you so much for the super sticker. 179. You're too generous. Thank you. It helps so much just with the cost of StreamYards and the production and everything else. So thank you so much for the super sticker. But yeah, if in a 4-3-3, well, let me get Ant's because it's always fun when Ant has to start counting on his fingers.
Yeah.
How would you
dreading this?
Yeah, and that's why he ran off to the loo. How would you fit Scarpa, MG Dub, and so on and so forth? I mean, Lingard doesn't seem to be spoken about anymore, thank God, from my perspective.
He's injured, isn't he?
But yeah, I know, but no one's saying when Lingard comes back. We're all still saying when Niakate comes back, he's walking in. You know what I mean? But from a 4-3-3 perspective, how would you go about it if you were gonna, you know, squeeze Scarpa in as put the other?
Well, you won't like this.
Go on.
If we're going 4-3-3, I think he'll go Scarpa on the right, one year on the left, and MG in the middle.
You think he'll drop Jono?
For the Leicester game, I think he may, yes.
I can't see it. I just can't.
I don't disagree with that too much, and I think he would do that. I can see him doing that. I think Jono will get his run out.
Would you agree with that or not?
I think
He's dropped
Jono will get
Jono before. He's dropped Jono before. He knows Jono's a great impact sub. I think he's every chance he'll do that.
I can see Jono playing a full game against Wolves with MG Dub as a number 10 because he's playing against his old club. I think if Morgan's fit, he plays against Wolves for whatever amount of time. He'll probably play him for an hour and then take him off for Scarpa. But against Leicester, I can definitely see that formation or that front three that Ant's just mentioned. That's what I want. I can just see him doing that.
In hell, he'll drop Jono, mate. I fully agree with Sai and Southpaw here. He won't drop Jono, no way. And I think Southpaw is right. I think Scarpa will be on the bench. I do. Well, I don't agree with it, but that's how I think it will happen. Okay. I mean, Chris is saying drop Freuler. Is Freuler's neck on the chopping block potentially because he didn't have the greatest game against Southampton? And would you maybe, because someone mentioned it earlier when we were doing the premiere for the video, someone's talking about would you consider Scarpa in one of the CM positions, Ant? No, and is that almost shoehorning him in too much?
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. If we're playing
attacking,
yeah. I want him where he's most dangerous, and that's up front.
Ez, would you consider it? Dropping a Freuler or a Yates or a Mangala for him?
Potentially for Freuler. I can see it, and I can see him being able to play that position. One of the things that we haven't quite had from seeing Freuler and Mangala is always that connection with front three. So maybe he can do that job a little bit better. I don't know. I think there's a lot of options with Scarpa, and that's the beauty of him as well as a player, that he can play several different positions. But we'd go with our tried and trusted. But you're right, Freuler didn't have a good game against Southampton. Probably of the midfield three he was the worst. But do you drop him?
Are you saying potentially play him as the deep lying midfielder? Because that's what he's doing with Freuler.
I mean, he's definitely got the range of passing, hasn't he? You know, we've seen that, and he doesn't need much time with a couple of cross field passes. He just looked up, pinged it. He didn't have to set himself or anything. He knew exactly where the ball was, and he can do things like he can be like a quarterback. He certainly can do that, which I kind of hoped Freuler would be, but I'm not seeing the range.
I want to see Freuler up front. I want to see him going towards goal. I want to see him shooting. I want to see him passing to the forwards. I don't want to see him playing deep midfield. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm saying he can. I'm just don't say. I don't think he would. I'd want him there. I don't think Cooper would have him there. But if the question's being asked, then I can. He's got the ability to do that, but certainly.
See, we talk a lot about formations, and that's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, it's how you play those formations. You could play 4-3-3 and be on the halfway line, or you could be 4-3-3 and pushing up. Yeah. Now the problem we've had is we're not been pushing up. So Freuler, for example, we've said it time and time again. If he's played 20 yards further up the pitch, he's a different player. But
like he did against Chelsea in the second half.
He's playing in the same formation, but he's playing 20 yards further up the pitch and creating more. You know,
So do you guys think we need to bring a proper CDM in this transfer window?
I'm starting to think yes.
I personally don't think that's a priority. It's
agreed.
If you want a free Freuler, like Keith said in the chat just then, I think you need a proper CDM because I think he's playing out of it out of necessity.
So we're going to play Freuler then.
When you push Freuler slightly further ahead, and then it's well, either Yatesy or Mangala step up, but I would keep Mangala in and keep Freuler in and have a proper CDM. Yatesy can't play the CDM role, and Chiarte, who we thought traditionally was a CDM, isn't going to be used in that role even when he's fit and available. So I would look for a.
I've never considered Freuler as a proper CDM, deep lying. No. But
I'm thinking, you think he's playing there out of necessity though, because out of the others, we've had this conversation. I don't think Mangala's got the discipline to hold that position. Yatesy hasn't got the ability to turn and pass the ball or take the ball off the back line that Freuler has. So who do you play in that CDM?
He won't drop Yates. And Simon's right. Yatesy is stepping up quite heavily.
No doubt about it.
I know you know that. But I think there'd be a bit of imbalance. I just don't think. I don't know. I think it's going to get messy before it gets tidier if we start like chopping and changing things too much. And that's why I think Cooper's thinking, and that's why I think Scarpa won't come in. I think the easiest thing for him right now is to have Scarpa as, I don't agree with it, as a substitute. And that's my worry. He's too talented to be dropped there.
Yeah, like I say, I don't think that's necessarily so. I think that he likes Scarpa, and I think he'll drop Jono and play him there. But we'll see, won't we?
We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of someone who could do that role, I want your thoughts on O'Brien and chat. I need to know what you guys are thinking. So we put out a video this afternoon about O'Brien potentially leaving and going to West Brom to join up with his old manager. It looks like it's going to be a loan deal. It looks like there's a lot going on in the background. And I don't know if you guys caught the video, but I was saying it all seems to have started from in and around that Leicester match where there was that massive argument. Yeah. And then there's been other stuff coming now. Obviously, there was this thing about him doing it, playing on Twitch, FIFA, and saying that what's his name, Cooper isn't happy with all the signings that got him in trouble. Those are rumors and things like that. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. And is he now turning into a bit of a bad egg, or because his performance yesterday was atrocious? It really was. And what do you think about this O'Brien thing?
I'm just really sorry because when he came in, he looked a fantastic player. And if we're going to shift him out because of backroom shenanigans, I think that's a real shame because he's definitely a footballer in there. And he was awful yesterday. And he's not been in the picture, really. He's been bringing on Jack Cole back before him in games, which is not the right thing to do. You know, I'm a big Jack fan, but O'Brien's a better player, in my opinion. I just think it's really sad. And the way it's looking at the moment, and we're only getting rumours and bits and bobs, but it's not looking good. And, you know, after those first few games he played, we couldn't have even contemplated that we might be shipping him out on loan in January. You know, it's just a shame. But
yeah. But the indications from what we saw yesterday was a player whose head's not in the right place. One of the things that impressed us most about O'Brien and the way he stepped into a Premier League team was his composure, and that was severely missing yesterday. His mistake for their first goal, you just don't make those. You know, you either get it, head it out into touch, or you know, you get your foot behind, and you get out. You certainly get it out of your penalty box. You don't put it back into a dangerous position for them. And a couple of times he lost the ball and he was out of position. And when he lost the ball, there wasn't that same determination to get the ball back. And that spoke a lot for me yesterday from where his head's at. And if it's a case that his head's not right, then, you know, he's no good to us. As bad, as ruthless and as sad as that sounds, if he's not the same player that we had coming into this season, and certainly for the first half a dozen games or so, sometimes it's very hard to pull that back. So something definitely not right. And Wolverine, you did touch on it in the last couple of days, but we saw evidence of it in the game yesterday. So whatever it is, it's a shame. I wouldn't sell him. Certainly wouldn't sell him. I think he's got a bright future. He just needs to get his head right. And if that means going and hooking up with his former manager at West Brom for the rest of the season, then so be it. I don't think he's going to be any help to us performing the way he is.
Yeah, I just want to thank Andy Porter firstly for the 199 super sticker. So kind of you. You guys don't understand how much it helps us with the setup and everything. So thank you so much. That's way too generous of you. If anyone wants to be a member, it's only 99p. But that 99p goes a long way when everyone does it together, and we can start adding more and more production into everything. We got well over 100 of you guys in here as well. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you're new here. So yeah, that's all we ask of you, and hopefully.
Can I just touch on that? Because in a live watch along yesterday, I think we picked up about 50 odd subscribers. So thank you everybody who subscribed through that, and keep doing it. The more we can grow, the more content we can get out, the more YouTube pushes us out onto the platform. So please, guys, keep doing that. Keep sharing it onto your Facebook groups and Twitter groups and this, that, and the other, and help us out in any way you can. Because this is our tagline is by the fans for the fans, and it is for you guys. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a platform. We wouldn't have had the ability or the want to get together and do this for you guys. So yeah, keep supporting us, guys, because it really makes a difference. Thank you.
Absolutely. And just one final thing to add, just to add with a bit more streamlining stuff, we now have commands in the chat. So if there, for example, if you look at our FFTV mod in there, if you do !member, that will automatically then generate you the link that you can go and click. You can do Twitter to get our Twitter stuff. So there's loads of nice streamlined stuff coming in there for you guys. And as we say that, Bobby, that is way too generous of you. Thank you so much for the $9.99. Bobby, a huge supporter of the channel, an absolute legend, has always got great thoughts as well. And that it's just, you guys don't understand how far that goes to help us with the stuff we have planned. So thank you so much again, Bobby. There is a lot of talk about certain unrest and certain rumors with players. And one we've all talked about for a while is, of course, Dennis. And Dennis has completely split. I would say more want him out at the moment than want him in. More are pissed off with his passing range and his ability than anything else. I've been a huge defender of him. I still am a defender of him. Where are you guys on this? I don't know who wants to take this first. Has either of you got a stronger opinion and wants to go?
I'm just going to respond to a point, because I don't know if you brought it up or one of our guys in the chat brought it up, but it was a fair question to say, yeah, if you do get rid of him now, who can you replace for that at that value of his ability? And there's not many out there, is there?
People are talking about Ismail Sarr. That's the only place he can go, unless he goes to Saudi Arabia or somewhere, because
in fact, let's do that as the poll. So I'll open it up. Would you like a swap deal with Sarr, which we brought to you? God, we brought it ages ago, about a week and a half.
Yeah.
But how do you guys feel about that as a swap deal?
I don't know enough about Sarr, if I'm honest. When on the odd occasion I saw Watford last season, it was Dennis that attracted me. I mean, the guy has got power, he's got pace, he can score goals, he's very tricky. A lot of opponent fans absolutely fear him. We know if they're playing Forest, who's the player you're most fearful
always
of?
Dennis,
It's always Dennis.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he has got a reputation for being an arsehole. And maybe that's what's happening again. I don't know, because he's not getting the game time that a player of his quality should be getting. So maybe there's stuff, again, like with O'Brien, stuff going on behind the scenes we don't know about. And that's a shame. Again, that's a shame, because he is a good player, in my opinion.
Yeah, but in terms of Sarr, I think he's more of an orthodox winger than Dennis is. And I think we need that more than we need Dennis at the moment. So from a swap point of view, if it's a straight swap, I'd probably take it for the rest of the season. I don't think Dennis, he's fallen out of favour for some reason. He was one of the brighter players yesterday, but that's not saying much, because
he was. He started very well.
None of them were shocking, there's only a couple of them that stood out at all, and that was Scarpa and Dennis. So that's not saying much in the pile of shit we saw yesterday. But if it's a straight swap, I think, just because I think we need a winger type, I think Ismail Sarr would be a better player. But again, like Ant said, I don't know that much about it. I know he's got pace. I know he's strong on the ball, and he can actually deliver across. But other than that,
I think I'm right in saying that last season, I think the figures are something like Dennis got 11 Premier League goals and Sarr got 5. So.
Yeah, but I think he's more of a winger. I'd like to see what the assist stats were. I think, because I know Dennis got about 5 or 6 assists as well, didn't he, on top of his goals? So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what their stats were in terms of assists. But I don't know, Wolverine, do you know any more on him?
I do. I've tracked Sarr a lot. I remember he was linked quite heavily with Man U last season. So Twisted Fate was doing a lot of research on him, and I was helping him with it. And he's a really good player. He's younger than Dennis. The problem you've got with this is, this to me stinks of Giraldi, the new guy that we brought in from Watford after we had the reshake. And I feel there's too much leaning back towards what he knows. And for me, Watford is a club that got relegated. Just before I carry on, Thank you so much to Chris for becoming a new member. That's huge of you, and it really does help us. Welcome aboard. Other members, please welcome him in with some emojis. Thank you, Chris. But yeah, so that's one thing that it stinks to me of. I don't want us to reenact a Watford team that wasn't good enough last season to stay up. That's one thing. The other thing is, this is also stinking of a little bit of desperation to me, because Emmanuel Dennis is tied into the places he can go. It's clear that no one really wants him. Potentially, I can't see Watford wanting him back. If all the rumors are true about Watford and how he left and the parties, etc., when he left, I can't see him going back. Thirdly, if that is the case and he is accepted back, why do we need another right winger? Because Sarr is a right winger. He's not a striker. He won't convert into a striker. He is another version, if you like, of Brennan Johnson. I don't understand where that balance is. If we're now looking at Brennan Johnson on the right wing, Scarpa who can play on the right wing, are we going to add Sarr in there?
Is this just the papers looking at it and say, well, he can't? The only place he can go in Europe is Watford. Therefore, that's got to be the deal. And well, they can swap him. Is it just papers making 2 and 2 make 5?
I think they're adding up.
As you say, they had parties when he left, so I can't see him wanting him back.
That's rumours, yeah. That's what doesn't add up for me.
That's why I suspect it's the papers being lazy and just thinking, well, he can't go anywhere else. Oh, let's put it down. He's going to swap for Sarr. Who they got? He could swap with? Oh, Sarr, because Watford won't buy him back at 15, 20 million. That's for sure. So maybe it's that.
Yeah, Chris, thank you. I mean, you must not watch a lot, but we appreciate the compliment, buddy. But thank you so much. And Simon's become a member as well. Simon, thank you so much.
Has he only just become a member? Has he been free? Has he only just become a member? Has he been freestyling all this time?
Has he really?
Which side? Well, there's so many Simons.
Simon.
My apologies if I'm getting the wrong Simon, by the way.
You're thinking of our Simon. Simon's been solid, but Simon's been a member as well. So thank you so much, Simon. In fact, it's even better than that. Simon's upgraded his membership, and so you need to apologize to gold. Yeah. So you're an absolute legend, Simon. Thank you so much. I've lost our train of thought. Yeah. So with this Sarr thing, it just does. I think, Ant, you're hitting on a good point. Again, it depends on, have the COVID rules been retightened to only allow someone to join 2 clubs within a given season, or can he still join 3? But I still don't think, if we assume the COVID rules are still in play, that there's many clubs that
you cannot play for 3 different clubs in one season. That's fact.
So it's Watford or bust then. It's
Correct.
Watford or bust. I still think he's going to stay. I just don't see the point of this Sarr deal. I really don't. And then speaking of the other Simon, oh, what a legend. He's upgraded to gold as well.
That's the one I was on about.
Yeah, peer pressure for you.
Yeah, and apologize. He's done.
I apologize wholeheartedly, my friend. I apologize.
Fantastic. So there's a lot of this talk about these kind of players. But what we're not really hearing about is, we've had a couple of strikers linked, just nothing on the defense really, and that for me is still a worry. After we saw what we saw yesterday, is anyone convinced? I guess we know everyone's feelings on Cook. What I want to talk about is McKenna, and where does McKenna sit in all this? Are our opinions swaying on McKenna, or is it a case of it's because he needs a better partner in this one? Let's go with Ant on this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up on Scott McKenna, because I think he's he has been a superb defender, and I think he is good enough for the Premier League. And maybe it is the fact he's been out of the team for quite a while. Maybe he does need a solid partner next to him. I certainly wouldn't give up on Scott McKenna yet. That's for sure.
Do you see him getting a run back into the team? Because Bolly and Worrell seem to have emerged as the number 1 pairing currently. Obviously, Niakate is still to come back. Where's Scott McKenna in this? As a footballer,
it's a squad game, isn't it? It's a squad game.
But as a footballer, is he going to look at this and think, I may need to move to get game time?
I don't see why. I don't know if there's a lot of clubs that have come in for him. I think he's happy at Forest. The fans like him. I don't see why he would be unsettled. It's a Premier League. We're a Premier League team. Premier League teams have squads. There aren't many Premier League teams where Scott McKenna's going to leave us and walk straight into first team football. So why should he move?
Yeah.
That's my feeling anyway.
Yeah,
it's interesting reading the chat, as we'll come to you in a second with the same question. Southpaw saying McKenna isn't prem level, to be honest. Chris saying McKenna great backup. Sci-fi saying McKenna gets another chance, but not too many. James saying McKenna was awful yesterday, but I think Cook drags him down to his level.
100%.
And then True Red says Scotty was just a bit rusty yesterday. He's a quality player. And then we got a Palmeiras boy in there. How are you, Ilias? Good to have you in here. Ed, your thoughts on McKenna then? I know it's harsh to judge on him from yesterday, but do you see him now as a backup, or do you think there is still a place for him within the team?
I certainly think he's slipped down a pecking order thanks to Bolly and Worrell's performances, and the fact that you got to have some sort of solidarity in there that's working. It wasn't working when it was McKenna and Cook. That was probably a worst spell of defending throughout the season. So I totally agree that with the comment that it was playing him with Cook brings him down a level. I'm sorry, it's just we've said it straight away. I'm not. We are digging Cook out, but we want the best for our club. And you know what?
Yeah.
He's not that level anymore. And Cook, I'm sure he would, if you asked him face to face, he'd probably be the first to admit it. But he's not at that level anymore. Well, I hope he would be anyway, because it's blatantly clear for everyone else to see, and we can't all be wrong. The 90+% of the Forest fans agree that Cook's not Premier League level, so we can't all be wrong, surely. And playing him with Cook makes him a lot less of a player. Playing with somebody like Bolly, I did say that I probably would have had him back in if he was fit for some of the Premier League games, but I'm wrong, because we got a clean sheet away from home. We got the 3 points from that game, and that was all that was important. And why would you change that? But McKenna still has a part to play. I wouldn't get rid of him. I certainly wouldn't. And where else would you want to go? I'd rather, me personally, but surely he'd rather sit on a bench at a Premier League team than, I don't know who else is in for him, you know. And if it is anybody, it's going to be somebody who's struggling in the bottom 3 or bottom 4. So he's not going to go to a better club in the Premier League. So I'd stick where he is if I was him. I don't think there's any speculation about him going anywhere else.
No, there is none. There is none. I'm just thinking, like, how is he feeling, you know?
Yeah, and I certainly don't think he's the type to really kick off about anything like that. I think he'll sit. He'll probably get a start against Wolves, you know, in the quarterfinal of a cup. Like,
hopefully Steve Cooper's making all the right noises to him and saying, look, Scott, at the moment we're playing Bolly and Worrell, but you know you'll get your chance. We'll have injuries, we'll have suspensions, you will get your chance, and then it's up to you. And that's all any player should ever want, really.
Sure. 100%.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, personally, I still think, minus Niakate, the best combo would be McKenna on the left, Bolly on the right. For me, I still feel there's mistakes in Worrell. I really do.
I would agree with that.
I saw a couple of good things from McKenna, which we've been missing, which is some of his direct passing. But then I saw the bad side of him as well, where he's constant. Majority of his passes are coming back in field, you know, to his either to the goalkeeper or playing Pong again. But when he does ping it forward, he pings it forward well, and that's something that Bolly doesn't quite do, not having a left foot. So there are definitely plus one, and I'd probably agree with you if it hadn't been for Worrell probably having his best game of the season against Southampton. Then I'd probably say that McKenna and Bolly would be a more ideal partnership until Niakate is back in the picture. But Worrell's doing what he should be doing anyway. He's a captain. He's starting to finally fulfill his role, I think, and we all want it. None of us, I don't want our own homegrown players to be doing well in the Premier League. So we'll get behind him 100%. But McKenna stays for me, and I'm sure he'll be fine to just get the odd game if like Ant said, that you know, when injuries come up, when suspensions come up, he's next up, and that was a mantra last season, wasn't it? Next man up. Don't see why that has to change.
Yeah, I want to move this on, and D Furs asked an interesting question. What is the priority position required in January? And I want to tie this in to you, Ant, with a slight twist, if Defer doesn't mind. It's about Sam Surridge. After yesterday, some of those misses were atrocious. There's no way to talk about it. It's weird that a lot of people jumped down his throat yesterday about his performance. Is he cut out for life in the Premier League for you, or do we need to now, as Defer says, like asking what's the priority position? Does that now become a priority as Crazy Cat Lady upgrades to a gold as well? That's crazy generous of you.
Thank you so much.
So much. It means the world to us. Is a striker now a priority in your eyes, Ant? Because Sam Surridge was shit yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I'll caveat this by saying we all loved last year's players. Okay, we know that. And they will always be legends in our eyes. And we'll never forget what they've done. Steve Cook included, yeah. But Sam Surridge, there's this myth that goes around that he's the best finisher. I've heard it. I can't tell you how many times I've heard Sam Surridge is the best finisher. Where are people getting this from? Because he scored a few good goals last season. This is a guy that cost us £2 million. We weren't battling Barcelona for him. He cost us £2 million. Sam Surridge is a mid-championship level player. He would not play for any other Premier League side.
Yeah.
And on that basis...
Sorry, one sec. This is turning into an upgrade party as Sue upgrades to goal. But you guys, I love the Forest fan base. They're just unbelievable how they support us. Three grumpy old idiots talking away, and you guys are here supporting us and the rest of the FFTV team. I don't include them in the idiots comment because they're a lot smarter than us.
You got far too much respect for them, that's why. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sue. You're so generous. Sorry, and well, Sue takes a priority over you, obviously, but yeah, I interrupted you mid-flow.
Yeah, no, I was saying that
the myth about Sam being
there's been this narrative about him best. No, he's not, and he doesn't offer very much at all in reality, and he's not good enough for Nottingham Forest Football Club.
Let's just interrupt you one more time to say hi to Charlie and sorry. We love Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Go and subscribe to Charlie on the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, but you conceded 4 against Manchester City. Come on, Charlie. I appreciate what you're saying, but
if it makes you feel better, Charlie, we let in 6 against them. So
we can all drown our sorrows, definitely.
Please go and subscribe to Charlie. He's such a top bloke, and we love the work he's doing on his channel as well. As another member joins us. David, thank you so much for becoming a member. The support is crazy. Thank you so much, David. Let's see if we can get Ant to complete a sentence without you guys becoming members and interrupting him. It's exclamation mark member. Go on, Ant, take 3.
Yeah, well, I think I pretty much said it, but yeah, he's not good enough for us. So on that basis, particularly as we've got an injury with Taiwo anyway, and also he's found a new position on the left, I would suggest that I would say a goal scoring striker is a priority, but my God, they are hard to come by. So whether we can get one that's good enough or not, I doubt, if I'm honest.
There's a couple of names, and I'll shout out Simon Jonesy because he's obsessed with him at the moment. Danny Ings, does he do anything for your Waters there?
Yeah, he does.
Would you be interested in him?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, experience, goal scorer, scored goals wherever he's been. Don't forget, this guy was not so long ago in a very good Liverpool side. It's only injury that got him out of that side.
Really is.
Yeah, I would take Danny Ings tomorrow. Absolutely.
Would you, Anne? Would you, Ez? Sorry.
100%. I'm with Simon Jones on this one as well. He's a top quality finisher. You know, he doesn't take 20 attempts to score a goal. He's lethal. I'd 100%. I'd do everything to get him off Villa, to be honest. I think he could be the game changer for us if we can get a player in like that. We've got enough quality now to be able to create chances for players like that. We have got enough quality to create chances for Awoniyi, but I still think he's a 3-in-1 striker. He'll get a goal in from 3 attempts. So, you know, so somebody more lethal, because you're not going to get a lot of chances out of bottom of the table in some games. Very reminiscent of Shea Adams' early chance against us at St. Mary's the other night. That goes in, it's a different game. You know, I didn't think there was going to be a lot of goals in that game, and it proved it. But he had a very gilt-edged chance very early on and couldn't hit the target.
I'm just not
Give
convinced
Danny
by
Ings that
him.
chance in the back of the net. Sorry, just say if Ings had that chance against us, it's in the back of the net. So yeah, that's the difference, I think.
I don't know. Where was he before Liverpool? He was at Burnley, wasn't he? Was it Burnley?
Yeah.
I liked him at
Villa.
Burnley.
Villa.
He's been at Southampton. He's been at Villa. He's been around. You know, he's at Villa now.
Yeah, but Southampton, he scored a bucket load of goals for them. They didn't want to. I think he went to Villa after that, didn't he?
Exactly. Yeah.
He's at Villa now. I'm saying
He's
before
at Villa
Liverpool,
now.
he was at Burnley, wasn't he?
Yeah, Burnley to Southampton to Liverpool and now to Villa, I believe.
See, I remember wanting him when he was at Burnley. I wanted him at Forest then. But right now, I mean, Mark's put his stats up. 17 games, 6 goals this season.
I didn't realise he played that much, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably some sub appearances as well.
Yeah, he's had a very stop-start season. And I
don't
think
forget,
he's got to be in his 30s.
And don't forget, Villa went through I was about to say, yes, Villa went through a horrendous period, didn't they, under Gerrard, where they were losing every game. And
he wasn't playing him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something to do with their Liverpool time. I don't know. But Gerrard wasn't playing him. But Unai Emery started playing him. And you've seen he's starting to score. I said, you know, I'd rather have a goal scorer scores half a dozen goals or 10 goals a season that are crucial and get you points, and somebody scores you 25 goals and fucking hardly gets you any points. So
yeah, but you could argue Owoni does that now. Owoni's won us 9 to 10 points.
He's got scored 4
I
goals.
love Owoni. So
3 of them got. Say again.
I love Owoni.
Yeah, and his 4 goals, his 4 league goals have got us 9 points.
Yeah, he's getting better, isn't he?
Yeah, the only goal he scored that didn't make a difference was against Fulham, I think it was, in that game. But other than that, all his goals have been winners, and they've won us points. So I'd take that 100%. He needs chances. We've got players to create him chances, but Danny Ings, if he's available, I'd take him.
A few people are pointing out he's 30. So what?
That's fine. Yeah,
so
that's
what?
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but I think Spacebar and who's the other one that was talking about injury proneness? I think is a very valid point. He is sick note.
Yeah,
Pat as well.
That is the concern. I agree with that.
That is the concern. And
but if we got him on a free, which I guess he would be, I can't see us having to pay. If we got him on a free,
why is his contract up?
No, I don't believe it is.
No, but I just don't think that. I think if he's
mate, so why the hell do you think we get him on a free? Villa didn't want to give us Davies for less than 15 million, and you think they're going to go, oh, here's some charity?
Because Ings has not been in the team. He's injury prone. He's 30. That's why.
No, he's back now though. Unai's playing him. Gerrard didn't play him, but
Unai's playing him. Then we ain't getting him, are we? So move on.
True. That's what I mean. It's not really. I don't think he's on the market, to be honest. But if he was available, I'd certainly go for him. But somebody mentioned.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say very similar to Callum Wilson. The danger with him from Newcastle's running is if he gets injured, he's a big miss. Okay, we've got Andre Isaac. I didn't help him yesterday. They lost as well, didn't they? They lost to Sheffield Wednesday, I believe.
Yes, you have our commiserations. Welcome to the club.
Yeah,
I've never understood. I've never understood the hype around Isaac. He played a couple of good games in the World Cup or European Championships or whatever it was. He scored about 2 goals all season last season. Somebody mentioned Trossard. There's no way in a million years we could get Trossard. He's going to a bigger club.
He's going Real.
He's going to a club higher up. And B, he's not actually out of contract in the summer. They've actually got the option of a 1-year extension, Brian have. So it costs money anyway.
And in the know. Ant. As Jimmy Barnes becomes a member. Thank you so much, Jimmy. That's so guys, you guys are crazy generous. You guys are crazy generous. And I want to talk about your mate. I'm going to quote you. I'm going to quote you here. And I quote, and this is off the back of what Wake Up has just said. Hennessy is the best second choice keeper in the Premier League. Even if Hendo got injured, I'd be quite happy and willing to have Hennessy as the first choice. Even if we go down, Hennessy will be a wonderful replacement for Hendo in the Championship. End quote. Over to you, Ant.
Oh, God, I wasn't wrong, didn't I?
Our fans are brutal, mate. And we don't forget anything, mate.
One has to be man enough to own up to one's mistakes.
Have you changed your opinion on him?
Slightly, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I say slightly, I mean we need a new goalkeeper for
Entirely. When you say slightly, you mean entirely. I've gone 360 on it.
Yeah, that kind of thing is. You're right, yeah.
But I'm agreeing with you. When I heard his name pre-season mentioned, I thought, yeah, he's the ideal backup goalkeeper. He's not going to moan. He's got a World Cup coming up. He's got something to fight for. He'll play in a Man United game again instead of Dino. But oh God, I'm wrong. I'm wrong on him, mate. Hands up, I'm wrong on him as well, mate.
I kind of liked him as well. Hennessy, no way. We gotta have that lad we loaned out to. I've gone full circle on him. I'm sorry. The only thing that I've got to say, I'm gonna blame you guys in the chat. You guys kept telling me his distribution was better than Dino's, and he had a safe pair of hands. I ain't seen this distribution. I ain't seen this safe pair of hands from him. And yesterday he looked like an absolute statue to me. He really did. He looks stiff.
Don't forget, we have actually got an excellent reserve goalkeeper at Luton.
Smith.
You got
Smith.
Luton.
You've got that Cranarich or something as well. Where's he from? Is he not? Is he up and coming goalkeeper? Adnan Cranarich.
Gordon
like
in
that.
the chat, but I've just boffed up listening to that shite. Exactly which particular bit of shite have you boffed up?
Yeah.
Wait, who said that?
Gordon Metcalf in the chat.
Which shite, Gordon? There's a lot. You're gonna have to be more specific.
Which particular piece of shite made you boff up?
Narrow it down, mate.
I think he's talking about Hendo. I think he's talking Hennessy. Sorry, Hennessy. Yeah, it's. I mean, the problem is this whole Samba debate's going to come back full circle now, isn't it? On Hennessy. I mean, we've debated. I don't even want to get into that at this stage of the night, but it's a case of. I think we need a second choice keeper. I mean, Horvath. I love that name.
It's not even his name.
Was he a better reserve keeper than Hennessy from what we're seeing at the moment?
Yeah, 100%. Did he let us down at all when he came in last season?
No, I thought he was brilliant.
He
played against Premier League opposition. He was in the cup against Liverpool, wasn't he? I thought he had a cracking game.
He made a cracking save from Firmino when he tried to lob him, and I think he had a great game. He only got robbed by Liverpool, as you've mentioned before.
Exactly. And it's Simon F's fault. He wants to apologize to me for promoting Hennessy. Yeah.
Oh, Simon F.
It's all his fault. It's all his fault.
I watched a clip last night, and to be honest with you, I can't remember. It was Forest against somebody. I can't remember who it was, but Greece was in goal, and he came flying out and grabbed the ball, and I thought, oh, I missed that guy.
Oh, let's not go into that debate.
Past, though. He's in the past. Mark is absolutely right. He says, look forward, not back. Samba's in the past. He left as he felt unloved. He won't come back. I still feel he's got a little affiliation to us. I really do. Ian's saying it as well. We don't need to talk about Samba. Huh?
It's not got any issue with the fans, and it's the fans that
matter.
You know.
Yeah, so for me, I think a secondary keeper may be on the cards, but that's why I'm now more tempted. And I want your opinions on this. I think we should sign Hendo in the January window. I think it's on him rather than on us. But it frees up a loan spot. Hear me out here. It frees up a loan spot, yeah. If he carries on playing well throughout the rest of the Premier League season, likelihood is Man U, being the tight asses they are going to notch the price up the further down we go. Could we not cut a deal right now for 20? I would take him for 20 mil right now.
Of course. I think we all would, but let's put it in his ballpark, because why would he make that decision now? He doesn't need to. If we go down, we could put a clause in that contract to say if he goes down. But money talks, obviously. But why would he want to make that decision now when he can choose probably from 80%?
I agree. Why would he? He's going to have this.
That's the only thing. From our point of view, 100%. I'd love to get that deal signed.
Well, even that I've said before is that I would love to do that, providing it didn't affect any other purchases that we want to make. You know, if it meant we couldn't afford a striker, or we couldn't afford a CDM, or couldn't afford a defender, then that's not the priority. If it does, if money's not any object, then yeah, I'd love to have him signed up. But as Wolverine says, why would he sign now? I mean, why?
I mean, this is part of my thinking, because I'm thinking ahead to the return leg when we play United. You know, because I'd much rather have him go than Hennessy.
Already thinking about that game, aren't you?
I'm still hearing
I can't believe that Man U would say we're not paying 20 million because we're frightened of Forest in being in goal for Forest. I can't believe.
So they should be, mate. So they should be. So I think we're all in agreement, though. If it could happen, it should happen. I guess the only thing, the kind of point I'm trying to get to is, does that show a lack of commitment from Hendo? Let's just say if it was put on the, why not?
No, because you can't have a go at him for that. Why would he make that decision right now? He doesn't need to. You know,
he knows that Forest wants him now, and he knows that Forest will want him at the end of the season.
Yeah.
The only difference at the end of the season, he might have other options.
Yeah, and what seems to derail most player seasons was when, you know, all this transfer talk comes in, where these rumours come. That's what unsettles a player, and we don't need an unsettled Dino until the end of the season. I think, you know, if he wanted to make that decision, he's probably had a secret chat already with Coops and said, you know, I want to be here, but because he's certainly shown a passion to the fans love him. You know, we're lucky enough to see him come to, well, you know, when sitting at either end of a stadium, when he comes towards the fans, he makes the noise, and he takes the appreciation, and he gets the appreciation. He's firmly become a fan's favorite. So there's no doubt that he knows we want him. Yeah, I don't think he needs the added pressure of making that. And from the advantage of getting the loan, that's the only benefit I see from it, getting that loan space.
I agree.
And if we're honest, most of the so-called top teams are pretty stacked for goalkeepers anyway. So who's actually available to buy him? Southampton, you know.
But there's talks that like Martinez is going to leave Villa, because it's Man U that will trigger all of this, because they're still not tied in with De Gea. So it could have a domino effect. If Martinez was to go, there's talk of Hendo going to Villa, so on and so forth.
Well, that doesn't mean they're going to get stuck with De Gea, does it?
God no. All right, guys in the chat, final thing for you to do now is get your score predictions in for the Wolves game. I'm going to grab the two predictions off these guys. Tomorrow, we've got the locker room back in getting your calls to get your calls and thoughts ahead on the Wolves game. Do you care or not? And would you play Scarpini or not? Anything like that, we want covered. The Daily News will be in tomorrow as well. And we've got a couple of showdowns with some Wolves YouTubers. So stick around for that, as it will be coming up. So much content coming up this week.
Yeah.
In a word, as score prediction for the Wolves game?
Yeah, I think it'll be a tight game, but I'll go with a 1-0 win for us, with Gibbs White to get the winner against his old club, mate.
Oh, I forgot about that. And is it party time on Wednesday? Or play time, sorry?
It goes
party
straight
time.
Goes straight to penalties, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're at home. Wolves are playing well. 1-1.
So who goes through on penalties?
We'll go through on penalties, because Endo will save them, won't he?
Yeah, Hendo's a legend. Yeah,
fair enough. But he didn't save the penalty in the Premier League game against them, and they saved ours. So
yeah, I know. But he saved against Harry Kane, who hadn't missed for like 29 penalties in succession or ever. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Apart from the World Cup as well. But
he saved the penalty against Declan Rice. You know.
I'm not against it, mate. I'm not against it. All right, we got some scores coming in. Ian saying 2-0 Scarpa to get his first goal. 2-1 from Southpaw. 1-0 to Forest, says Sly. Going to Pens, says James. 2-0 Forest win in 90 minutes, says the True Red. 2-1 says Adam to the Reds. Mark says 2-1 Awoni and Gibbs White. I'll take that. Newcastle away in the semi-finals.
Two legs. It's 2 legs.
Yeah, we'll take it, man.
Better than getting Man City. Sam Savage is not good enough for the Premier League, says the Attitude Era. And Chris says 2-1 to Forest. Scarpa plays 60th. Jono and Scarpinia to score. All right, we're going to wrap up there. I just looked at the time. I was like, where the hell is that all gone? My God. I can't believe you guys are still around in the chat. You guys are crazy.
Yeah, you guys are legends. Over
We love you.
110 still.
Yeah,
in
we're
the
still
chat.
holding way over 100. It's like
Wow.
115 odd in here. Crazy,
Please
crazy
smash that
numbers.
like button if you haven't already. Please hit that like button on the way out. But
yeah, we're
thank you so
25
much.
away from 100 likes. Please do hit that like button on your way out. The content isn't stopping this week. I don't know where us guys at FFTV are going to slip some sleep in, but we'll try our best. But Forest comes first. Thank you so much to all the new members who have joined. Thank you to all the donations.
Thank you so much.
And just thank you to anyone who's just hit the like button or subscribe to the channel. That for us, if you're doing that, you're showing your support.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. We'll catch you tomorrow on the daily news. There's a lot of transfer rumors and links to update you on, so make sure you watch out for that. And until then, come on, you Reds.
Come on, you Reds.
You Reds.